You'd have to talk to the other redhead about that, but you know. Oh, and who's picking this nasty music? I've never heard this before. I don't know what this is.
I've heard it.
I love this music. Thank you. From the 80s.
Metallica's fabulous.
We never played that on stage, but I know the song.
Head banging with Bob. Hey, Bob.
Say your prayers and so on. Don't forget my son to include everyone. I tuck you in all within, keep you free from sin till the Sandman he comes. Sleep with one eye open, gripping your pillow tight. Exit light into night. Take my hand, rock to never, never land. Something's wrong, just the light. Heavy thoughts tonight, and they almost the white. Dreams of war, dreams of lies, dreams of dragons fire, and the things that will fight.
Hey, wait, that looked like Tristan with all that red flaming hair going on.
With one eye open, gripping your pillow tight. Exit light.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we got to stop that right there for a minute because we're going to play something else. I know, right in the middle of the damn song. I love Metallica. I can't help myself. A friend of mine, a couple months ago, I was on a place, and my hair, you couldn't see my ponytail. My beard was real thin, and I was wearing mirror glasses. And he says, "You're a narc. You're a cop." And as he says that, I reach in the car and I just turn it up. And I said, I didn't know cops listen to this kind of music. I said, but I guess I guess cops listen to this kind of music. I said, well, because I know quite a few of them, and I know they do actually like kind of hard metal. And he's like, that doesn't mean you're not a cop. He said, I see your gun right there. I see it. I see it. I said, oh, you mean this one? I said, pull it out and put it on my side. I said, is this the gun you're talking about? I said, this gun will not kill you. I promise. It has no malice against you. It will not jump out of my car and shoot you. Now, you keep bothering me, I might jump out the car and shoot you. I said, but the gun's not going to. The gun loves you. He says it cares for you. But anyway, well,
who are you talking to at that time? I didn't
some idiots.
Some idiots. Okay.
Some idiots. Well, I open carry in Louisiana and Mississippi, and I carry concealed sometimes, but
I carry all the time here. No one.
So most of the time the gun's in the car because the one I'm carrying right now is big. It's a Canix 9mm. It's a monster, and so I usually keep it in the car. But lately, because New Orleans has been so messed up, I've been carrying it on my side. And as a matter of fact, I walked in the store I had to go get some money out of an ATM. And I walked this really bad store in the middle of the city. And the guy said, is that real? I said, you want to find out? He's like, no. He's like, no, man. I was just asking. I said, yeah, it's real, man. It's for real.
Yeah, there was a fancy cowboy in Sedona some years back. He had 2 6-shooters all dressed up like a cowboy. And he said, I asked him, I said, are those guns real? Can they really shoot? He said, you want to see? And I pulled out my gun that I was carrying. I said, now this one's real. I don't know about those toys. But yeah, similar incident, yeah.
Well, the other day when I was with my son and 2 of his friends and one of mine, and we all open carry. Well, he's got a Glock 19, one's got a Glock 49. I got a Canik, one's got a 1911 Smith & Wesson. So we walk in the store, and it looks like my hair's all down, it's frizzed out all over the place. Yeah. I look like I'm coming to eat you, man. Yeah. These people are like, should I be calling the cops? I said, for what? Well, we all got guns. It's like, yeah. I said, you live in a state that has open carry. I said, we didn't come here to shoot you. Calm down. I don't know, man. Y'all got five with guns. We have a lot of money in here. So wait, let me get this straight. You just told the guys with 5 guns, you have a lot of money in the store. I was like, what are you, stupid, man?
Now, do
said,
you have to have
"Yeah,
you have to have a license, Joe? You got to have
No,
a card.
Mississippi, you don't have to have. You can open and conceal without anything. It's complete.
Constitution. Yeah,
Yeah.
Constitution.
So
They just
Louisiana's a
passed
little.
that in Kansas too. I
So
think
we're gonna have to
Yeah.
buy
last
her
year,
a
year
gun.
before last.
We'll
Oh,
have to buy
so
one in
but it's
Jeep and
funny
stuff.
because in the similar situation, it was summer before last. I was involved in an active shooter. I guess a man came and threatened to kill me and about 100 and probably over 100 other people. And when I was on the phone, the funny thing when you were talking about are those guns real? When I was on the phone with the dispatcher when I called 911, she said, "Ma'am, do you think now is anyone else there? Do they have weapons on?" I was like, "Lady, this is the Midwest. Everyone has a weapon on them." I'm like,
That's like that black
and-
comedian always talks about. Yeah, he said one thing we got that the rest of the world don't go, and the guys on it. Like what? He said we got a bunch of rednecks armed to the teeth. He said.
Right, yeah.
He
Yeah.
said, "Yeah, let them land in the south or the Midwest or in the West first and see what happens." I was like, "He's got a
Right.
point."
Yeah,
Now,
that's what the
yeah,
dispatcher asked me. If anybody else was carrying, I'm like, they're all carrying. What are you talking about?
we can't open carry here in Illinois, but we can conceal. And in Alaska, when I went up there for a couple of years, you got to call
wait.
it. You know,
Hold on a second, guys.
okay.
What's up? Good looking. What's up? You didn't get the link I sent you in your email, or I thought I did email it to you. Wait, hold on. Let me make sure I got the right email because I made Carmen send it to me earlier. Well, you can too. Well, you can click it from anywhere as long as you're on whatever you want to use. If you're going to use your phone or you're going to use your computer. Okay. Well, no, but I did. He said it's got time and it's got MERIDIANDE at designworks.com. Yeah, Meridian Design Works.com. Yeah, I sent it there twice. You should have it. It might have went to your junk mail because it is a link like that. You got it? All right. Well, hey man, us good looking folk can make mistakes. You see. Anyway, come on in when you're ready. We all hanging out chatting.
Okay.
The best one to send it to would. Oh, I'm glad you said that. Hell, I don't even know how to put it on this site yet. It's uprntalkradio.com. So it's okay. I'll send it over on you. Well, you want an email or messenger? Well, I'm glad you said that because I forgot to switch this over to the right server. Yeah, where's my phone at? I got it right here. Well, you know what? Hold on. I think I got the email still open. Well, I got a messenger. I got something open. I know something's open around here, man, because I'm talking to you, so something's got to be open. Why won't it let me text on here?
You know,
So
I
wanna
don't
share
think I've
your screen.
ever seen Joe wear a hat on this show.
I have worn a hat before. I'm sorry, Tom. I'm talking to somebody in the chat at the same time. All right. Well, you know what? Let me hang up and maybe let me send it on your messenger. If not, I'll send it on your email. All right. All right. So, all right. Let's see. Well, why is it not letting me messages? You know what? We'll just hang it up and we'll start it over. There we go. All right. UPRN talkradio.com. UPRNtalkradio.com, and we're live. Yeah, I can see those lovely faces there. Okay. Yeah, we're going to play one more intro before we start. We'll wait till Tom gets in. So, I'm looking for intros, ladies and gentlemen, for this show. We're looking for this one. Essentialist, we're actually looking for new intros. So I do like Sandman. It's a good intro because you don't have to let it go into the audio. The lyrics. You can just stop it right there at the end of the music, and it makes a great intro. And but this other intro is pretty good too. So we're going to listen to this, and this one's got Johnny Cash on it, so we might have to change it a little bit on the end because it doesn't play through. But I'll prep this for everybody. This is Joe Biden talking shit about America. Okay. And this is somebody's answer to Joe Biden talking shit about America. Who wrote me that? He's a moron. Okay. Look, let me do it this way. Okay. I can go back. We'll go back to Reagan. Reagan's good. Clinton was good. CIA, Bush scared the shit out of me. Jimmy Carter was like, oh my God, what the? No, Jimmy Carter was before Reagan. Sorry. We won't even count him because he was just scary all the way around. So then we had, we had Clinton, and then we had Reagan, Daddy Bush, and then Clinton. And Daddy Bush was kind of scary. And then we had
Junior Bush.
Baby Bush.
Yeah.
Baby Bush still scares me. I don't even know how he didn't launch nuclear weapons against somebody somewhere. He just scares me. And then of course, if Baby Bush wasn't bad enough, we got Brock Insane Obama.
Mm-hmm.
I still don't know what to say about him. He may have been worse than Carter, but you know what? I hate to say this. Joe Biden's going to be worse than both Obama and Carter put together.
Well, Obama is the first president that ever had 3 terms. He's running the country now.
Some people say that. Some people think it's Jill, first woman president. I think it's Jill running the country because she made a comment. She was somewhere in Europe and she made a comment that suggests that nothing goes out of the White House without her approval. So, but it's hard when you get into these conversations because you don't know what's true, what's bullshit, what's conspiracy, what's not conspiracy. It gets into a lot of weird stuff. And frankly, and then some people says, well, Kamala's running it. I said, well, that would explain why the country's a shithole. Well, at least Obama managed to keep our one thing about Obama, he didn't understand economics, but he kept our enemies at bay, just like Trump did. Putin wasn't going to pull no shit on Obama. Neither was anybody else because Obama's crazy and liked to blow people up, just like Trump does. He likes to blow people up. Presidents that like to blow people up, it's never good to start shit with because they're going to probably blow you up. I still remember Xi Jinping. Xi Jinping's in Europe at the G10, I think it was, or wherever it was. And a reporter asked him about Trump and invading Taiwan. He said, would you even consider it a Trump? And he looked at him and said, no. Putin said he would never do any kind of military action under Trump because he knows Trump more than likely would retaliate because they asked him about invading the Ukraine under Trump. And he said, no, we wouldn't have done that. He said, because the American response wouldn't have been proportionate. It wouldn't be like it is now. America would have had troops on the ground. And he said, nobody's ready to get in that kind of war yet. He basically said, we're all talking smack, but none of us want to get in that kind of war yet. Xi Jinping already alluded to it. And Kim Jong-un, he told Kim, I will come for you and I will kill you. And Kim got so scared, he let his sister come out for 2 years.
It did. Trump said that he can get this war in Ukraine done.
Oh,
24 hours.
I guarantee if Trump gets on, I don't know about 24 hours, but if Trump takes presidency, that war will be over probably in the first week or two. It'll be gone. It'll be done. Matter of fact, if he thinks he's going to win, he'll probably arrange a deal with Putin before anything else goes on. He'll probably just say, okay, well, we sucked and that's the way it's going to be.
There's so much crap going on behind the scenes, though, Joe, that we don't even know about.
Well, but that's the problem. It's always been the same problem. There is a lot of stuff going on, but there's too many people pulling away. So everybody wants to go, oh, well, the Democrats and Republicans, yeah, they're a pain in the ass. But let's not forget about all these powerful groups and companies. They're pulling around too. So our biggest problem is nobody. We need somebody who wins and just won now, and now we can do it. But right now, like people tell me, oh, they're going to take over global this, global. I said, why? I said the Bilderbergs hate the Masons. The Masons hate the Skull and Bones. The Skull and Bones they just all hate each other.
Right. They do.
They're never going to work together. Yeah, they're never going to work together for one world government. It's not going to happen. So either you got to wipe them all out and leave one, or somehow by some freaking miracle, they all decide to be friends with it. And it's just not because they have different agendas. They have different power agendas.
What does Trump call the shadow government? Who are they?
He don't know. Nobody knows because it's not a shadow like it's one government running it. It's like pieces of governments. So like if you get into the ufology stuff or the parent or any weird stuff, that's a whole separate part of the government that's completely apart from our regular government. then you have other stuff out there that's also completely apart from her. It's just weird. Oh, I see good lookings here though. We got to let Mr. Tom in the room. This man is just handsome. Is all I can say.
Oh, thank
Look,
you.
Trish turned red, man.
You just like to embarrass me.
I was already red.
No, that's true. You already read, so we won't go there. It's no. I was talking to one of the hosts yesterday, and she was asking me, and I said, "I got Tom Wade coming on." She goes, "Who's that?" I said, "Here's." So I sent her a link, and she goes, "Oh my God, he's good looking. Is he married?" I said, "Yeah, he's married." She said, "Are you sure?" I said, "Yeah, man, it's my flash. Yeah, I know he's married." I said, "She's very pretty too. She's very nice." I said, "I don't think he's looking to trade anybody in right now." Yeah. I said, I guess you can always send me email something. I get, somebody Wednesday night asked me, usually I get questions, is Emily married? And I'm like, yeah, she's married. I said, she's married to the guy she's sitting next to, John. Last week, 2 girls kept asking me if John was married. I said, yeah, he's married. I said, but I tell you what, just email him. And if you can get past Miss Emily, maybe, you'll get lucky. Yeah, that ain't going to happen. Emily will hurt somebody. She's not. Y'all, if y'all know what I'm talking about Emily Goodwin, not Emily Men's House. I'm talking about Emily Goodwin. She's, all I can tell you, she's a terror whirlwind. Is all I can say. Oh, I love her to death. Don't take it out of context, people. But Tom knows she's a whirlwind, man. That girl, it's hard to even get her to sit down for 5 minutes. I said, let's have a glass of wine. Okay.
Did you send me a link for the show?
Oh, did I? I'll send it on. Let me send it to your email because I sent it to your messenger, but I don't think you got it. So let me.
All right. Send it to my email. And then
pull up my
of course,
email.
Once I get everybody on here, then you can just sort of rehash.
Yeah, we'll go over. We haven't really started. Well, we
stuff.
still got to play the second intro. We're doing we're checking out different intros we want to put on. We have made the show. We just brought the show back, so we're trying to figure out what kind of intro we want. We just played what was it, Sandman, just a few minutes ago, and so we had my email. Go ahead, just had the damn thing open a second ago. There it is. Okay, let's go see. Look, email. You should have Tom in here now. And wrote to him like 3 times. Oh no, you're not. Of course, you're not.
To the show, not where I can post it.
Well, I sent it to your messenger. You didn't see it.
You sent it to Messenger.
Yeah, but I'm gonna send it to your email too. I send everything to Messenger, man.
Oh,
we
I
set
got mine.
Yeah, we set the station up to run off of Messenger now because everybody's on Facebook or Instagram. But hold on, let me get Carmen. Let me open this up out, and I can send it out to you. It's what's that, Jack? Jack Tom is one of the judges for Writers Illustrated, which we're going to talk about in a few minutes. He's also an extremely talented artist, which we're also going to talk about. We're going to go through some of his work later in the show. And on top of that, he's a very nice guy. Look, usually when you find people as talented as him, they're usually, how can I say this? Flaky. Yeah, that's the word.
Really? Oh yeah, because of the whole introvert artist.
I don't know what it is, but
kind of like a musician too.
Yeah, I've heard that too.
But there's some like you and Echo are not. Y'all are very, very comfortable when you're talking with people. You don't get all frustrated if people ask you a question. I've done a lot of interviews. Oh, dumbass Joe, sorry. Is the word
eccentric? Is it eccentric?
I wouldn't call you eccentric, no. But I would call other ones eccentric for sure.
Yeah.
MERD. You just seem as an illustrator, an artist, I should say. You just seem to be way better balanced. I guess as polite as I can say it without getting myself in trouble with other artists. But
I tell you, when you are running your own business and you have to deal with art directors and clients, you really are shooting yourself in the foot if you're so awkward that you can't hold a conversation or talk about the project. So you gotta. If there's any of those tendencies, you've got to just work past them and practice to where you're comfortable with that kind of stuff.
Well, you really do, and it's. Well, this. What are you doing? Yes, send without subject. Okay, but. Oh, I'm gonna shoot this computer.
I'm extremely awkward, but I can still hold a conversation.
Yeah, and that's
maybe it's because people are afraid of me. I don't know.
Yes, you got to watch her, man. She's a voodoo queen.
I mean, you seem like there's an intimidating vibe there.
She's a voodoo princess, man. You got to watch her ass.
Oh, what?
She'll turn you into some weird stuff, man. I'm not even going there.
It's my resting bee face. I can't help it. I
Well,
was born with it.
when people don't know she's a
I'm not
witch,
seeing it.
they're not as scared. But when they find out she's a witch, they're like, wait, what? She's a what?
A witch?
Mm-hmm.
The other day, I said, Trish, the witch on the network, the bitch. I said, no, the witch. I said, not the bitch. I said, I'll introduce you to the bitches if you want to meet them. I said, we've got a couple of them on the network. I said, but she's not one of them. And
I know
yeah,
Trish said something about your hat a while ago, Joe, that she's never seen you wear a hat.
yeah.
You were in
Yeah,
a
every once
hurry
in a while.
and you rushed into the studio probably with your hat on. You forgot about it. But with me, with my hat, my wife told me to wear my hat. She said it makes me look younger. And she had to say something good because I think she was saying, the shiny head,
The hat does look good, Dave.
Hey, what?
I said the hat does look good.
Oh, well, thank you. You're an artist. I appreciate that. I'll have to tell my wife. Yeah, and I got a big question to ask you. I guess I'll wait till Joe to lead off, though.
Sure.
Well, if I can ever get it to send him an email. What is my email?
It's fine. We're all squared away now.
Oh yeah, no. I'm going to reopen my email because it keeps saying it won't send it for some reason. We got hacked the other night. Well, we didn't so much get hacked, but the network got hacked. Man, they hacked a bunch of our overseas servers and in-house servers. God, I had people calling me till 7 a.m. cussing me in all kind of languages and shit.
Is that spy network? Those kids?
I know. This was just insane, man. I was like, I could not believe how bad it was. And John and them were actually on the show when it happened, and it cost us. I don't even. God only knows how many listeners. It was a very strange thing all the way around.
Everything just shut down all of a sudden?
No, that's not actually what happened. So, what is going on here tonight? Okay, we're just gonna close all this and just say screw you. How's that? And just start from scratch. We were wrapping up the show, and I said, and I was doing good night, and I just shut down StreamYard, and just before I shut down StreamYard, this auto loader thing popped up on my screen. I'm like, what the hell is this? And then it said addmefast.com, and then it said full fury, you're hell or something. And my computer says, would you like to quarantine this? Of course I want to quarantine this. But it went out to a bunch of other places and caused all kind of trouble. So, I mean, some of these companies like Viacom I've been with for a long, long time.
Is there
they
somebody
did not
after you?
appreciate it. Yeah, no.
Somebody
I don't know
after
what it
your
was.
ass?
I think it was. I think it was one of them fluke things. I think. I don't think it was us. I don't want to say it was directed at us. I mean, anything is possible. I'm not going to rule it out, but I do tend to piss off a lot of people, and it's a bad trait of mine. But well, when people when they meet me, they always say, "You're always so nice. I couldn't believe you'd piss off people." I said, "Come listen to the show." I'm like, "Come listen to the show." I said, "You'll find out." Especially from doing politics, I piss off half the country at one time.
And then you got
the rest
Trish
of us
trying to
usually
defend
put a little
herself.
disclaimer. Yeah, we put a disclaimer on the bottom that says our views and are not.
All right, we're gonna try this one.
Whatever Joe says does not represent all of us.
Yeah, well, my ass has been smacked several times on YouTube and Vimeo, so.
But it does clearly say on the all the websites that we're not responsible for anything that the host or guests say because, I mean, honestly, we don't know what they're going to say sometimes. I mean, people pop stuff out of their mouth, like the guy who was sleeping with the dolphin. I'm like, I actually pulled that show midstream. I was like, wait, what? When he said it, I was like, no, I did not just hear that. And then Jeffrey, the host, texted me and said, did he just say that?
National Dolphin Day.
I don't know, girl. It was freaky weird. I said, that's got to go. We can't be having that kind of stuff on the network. I said, I'm sorry. We just can't go there. And which we can't. So I was like, some things are just bad. All right, let's try to send this at time. One more time. UPWWW. Oh, we don't even need www. UPRNtalkradio.com. All right, computer, behave yourself because I'm going to smack you if you don't. Oh, I think it actually behaved. All right, Tom, you should have it. It actually didn't tell me it wasn't working. That's been weird. I mean, electronics have been screwy with me, and I'm not used to it. I'm used to everything working.
What's going on, Joe? I see Tom and I hear his voice and everything. Is there another hookup that you need to do? Or?
Well, we're going to play something right quick, and then we're going to get into the interview with Tom because we're always running late. So let me get this into the system right quick. Where is it? Present. Okay, share.
Every
Of course,
time I come on this show, it ends up in like 4 hours.
we get the show is very strange. Why do we see this guy? I don't want to hear about no Bud Light people. Okay, I got all the Bud Light talk conversations I can hear about for the next year. Okay, here we go, guys.
And special about being American. None of you can define for me what an American is.
I am the nation. I was born on July 4th, 1776, and the Declaration of Independence is my birth certificate. The bloodlines of the world run in my veins because I offered freedom to the oppressed. I am many things and many people. I am the nation. I'm 200 million living souls and the ghost of millions who have lived and died for me. I'm Nathan Hale and Paul Revere. I stood at Lexington and fired the shot heard round the world. I'm Washington, Jefferson, Patrick Henry. I'm John Paul Jones, the Green Mountain Boys, Davy Crockett. I'm Lee Grant, Abe Lincoln. I remember the Alamo, the Maine, and Pearl Harbor. When freedom called, I answered and stayed until it was over there. I left my heroic dead in Flanders fields and on the rock of Corregidor, on the bleak slopes of Korea, and in the steaming jungles of Vietnam. I am the Brooklyn Bridge, the wheatlands of Kansas, and the granite hills of Vermont. I am the coal fields of the Virginias and Pennsylvania, the fertile lands of the West, the Golden Gate and Grand Canyon. I am Independence Hall, the Monitor. I am the Merriman.
Well, we're going to probably put the whole one on. I'm thinking I might be leaning towards this one. I'm not sure yet. We're doing intros for this show.
Mhm.
That Joe Biden comes up and just talks nothing but smack about America, and then I don't know who put the song in it, but it's a great song to answer anything he has to say negative about the country. So I don't know. We'll see how it goes. Anyway, tonight's guest is Tom Wood. Tom is a very interesting. We're going to say young man because he's probably youngest in the crowd here. What are you, like 30 now, man? 30, 32?
Yeah, well, just turned 30. Yeah.
He's just a puppy, man. Dave's like,
Let me look at this bio. I think it's, let's see here.
Dave, check out your bio. No, actually, I've known Tom for about 3 years now, and I got to say, we're going to get into some of his artwork in a little bit. And you can't see behind us right now is the Volume 39's picture that he did, our cover he did for this year's book. And I don't have one because John hasn't sent me one yet. I was looking behind me, and so used to having one behind me to grab.
They usually have you one?
They usually do. They usually have me
before
one. I usually have one before the thing, but for some reason this year they sent me the audio book to listen to, but they usually send me a full cover because I usually have it up. I want to put it up there. But before we even get into that, so ladies and gentlemen, if you'd like to go to Los Angeles and meet Tom or meet myself, Writers of the Future is giving away a 3-day trip to Los Angeles.
Wow.
Okay, all you got to do is go to the website and fill out. As far as I heard, when I talked to Maliva yesterday, there was only like 55 people that had even filled in, and I think only 10 of them had even submitted. So, guys, I would go now while you got a chance. The drawing's Monday, I think at midnight. So I would go check it out. There's going to be a lot. You ought to go try.
I'm gonna go enter that.
Well, there's a lot of great people to meet. There's some fabulous judges there. There's a lot of fabulous people there. I mean, I don't know the lineup of guests this year, or winners, I should say, this year, but I know the majority of the judges. I've had fun with all of them. None of them are snobby or stuck up. I mean, maybe they are, but they're very nice to me, so I can't say. I watch them work, and they have far more patience than I do. I watch them work with all of these winners and be very patient with them, treat them with respect, even though half of them are, just getting into the field in some way or another.
Right.
I listen to them ask questions that I know all of these guys have answered probably 100 times. But not one time have I seen any of them. Now, maybe they go inside and shut the door and scream, but when they're dealing with people, they're not like that.
No.
And I've been very impressed with the whole bunch of them. I got to say everything I was originally told about this contest was absolutely true. I was very skeptical. I griped at John for a whole year. I said, John, I don't believe you. I think you're full of BS. Nobody does this. I said, nobody does blind judging. Everybody wants some kind of $500 fee or $300 fee or some kind of fee to join. Well, I got there, flew out at the end of COVID, got there and started meeting people. And I was amazed. I said this the other night. They are so nice, it scares me. I'm waiting for somebody to jump in a closet with butcher knives or something. I swear. They are just, and I'm not talking about the judges. This is just the staff that works there for author services and writers for Galaxy Press and author services. They're fabulous people.
They are, and they've always been that way. I mean, I met them at Dragon Con in 2015. They were the booth next to me, and Sarah and John was there, and a few others, and that was my first big con, and they came over and helped me arrange my booth, and just was just so nice and helpful the whole time. And I've been friends with them ever since.
And they are good people. I mean, I get a lot of this, that, and other questions about them, and I'm like, well, guys, I said I said I'm always the same way with people. I said I always judge people by them. I said I don't judge them by their skin color or their sex or any other thing. I said, you're either an asshole or you're not. Is what it comes down to. Matter of fact, y'all remember, was it last week I played "Were You Born in I-95" song? I'm not even going to say anything more than that. It's that was a prelude to Trump. People don't even start with me about this. And I played "Were You Born an Asshole" last week on the show. So I couldn't resist. Hey, this is not a PG-13 show. This is a 9:00 show on the weekend. So children, if you're watching, go to bed.
I thought that was going to be your standard opening song, Joe.
I don't know yet. No, that can't be an opening song because it'll get us in too much trouble. But I did like the whatchamacallit girls, the Dixie Chicks. The Dixie Chicks, that one song they had, I like that. So I don't know yet. We'll get one. Sooner or later we'll find one that we like. Right now I like Sandman and I like this one. So I might start using Sandman in the intro and this one for the break or something.
Well, I couldn't figure out how old Tom is, Joe, but he started off at 5 years of age. He's self-taught, and he's been in the business since 2005.
What got me?
Yeah, I've been illustrating since 1990 professionally, but I didn't start the fantasy portion of my
Let me get my calculator out here.
So this man tells me one day about drawing one. I'm gonna go find it in a little while, but drawing one of these flame pictures I like to call them. And we're talking, and I realized that I remember seeing this picture in Kmart and Walmart when I was a kid. And I'm thinking, how much fucking money did this guy make off of this? I mean, these things were everywhere, man. I was like, damn, that was a stroke of genius, man. The artwork was great, but I mean, I think it was the best time for it to come out.
Yeah,
it's beautiful. It's a beautiful artwork. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
But we're going to get into some of his artwork in a little. I mean, he's very talented. Matter of fact, most of the staff I've met over there, Tom and Echo and Sergio are all really good. They all have different styles, but they're really good. Last time Echo was on, Echo was. I always do that to myself. I don't know what that is. Anyway, last time she was on, we did her. I guess they were oil bust pictures. We called it the nudie collection, is what we called it. But it's very good. She's very talented. She also has a virtual shop, so if y'all want to check it out. But Tom is just, I like his work. It's nice and smooth. Plus, when you get on the websites, it's a wide range of stuff. It's not like he's pigeonholed into anything. It just seems like he's just got a wide, smooth. You're gonna go make me.
You can go to tomwoodfantasyart.com, and that's a lot of my fantasy art stuff, which I do a lot of work. I do a lot of my own fantasy art work. And then I also commission some fantasy art pieces for entertainment groups, like I'd say, namely Insane Clown Posse. I do a lot of their stuff because it's just really wild. It's right. It's in my wheelhouse.
You consult with a lot of companies and TV productions. Could you tell me, do you have anything to do with that Dragon movie that's on HBO? My wife loves that show. Have you consulted on that one?
No, I haven't. That would be awesome, though. But yeah, they do a great job on that show.
Yeah. I thought you'd be part of that.
So
I would love to be. They can call me. Call me up.
Tell me, I'm gonna give him a call.
do you like doing commissioned projects? And as an artist, I go back and forth on that myself.
I do. I mean, that's kind of hit or miss, Trish, just because some of the stuff when they hit me with it, I'm like, this is going to be fun to do, and I can make some good money on it, but not as much as doing my own thing, because if you do it yourself, you don't get paid for it, but there's so much more earning potential as far as licensing is concerned, because like the Phoenix that Joe was talking about, that thing's been put on everything from bed sheets to skateboards, and you get paid royalties on all that stuff if you own it. If it's commission piece, you'll get paid once, and then that's it. It's one and done. So licensing is really,
and you don't have as much creative freedom.
exactly. Yeah, you have to make their idea look good, even if it's a bad idea. So,
oh, thank God you know what you're doing then. I've seen some really bad stuff. I'm just saying, I've seen some really bad stuff out there, people. I'm not trying
How do
to
you
hate
balance
or anything.
that? How do you
Roseanne.
balance, I guess, your personal vision from the needs of your clients or the people who commission projects from you?
when I started working
If that makes
in the
sense.
creative field, when I started working in the creative field, my job was,
Oh wow.
I was told my job is to make my bosses look good, and they would always usually try to take care of you for that. So I would try to take whatever awful assignment was and then try to put my spin on it, and to where I loved it. And if they came back with changes, I might be able to tolerate one, maybe two. But after that, when I see them making suggestions that is compromising the quality of the artwork, you just have to emotionally divorce yourself from that piece and just give them what they want, no matter how much you dislike it. Just get the job done. So that's one of the main reasons I'm not a huge fan of commissions.
So Tom, how do you come up with all these ideas? I mean, does it just come right flowing to you? Or are you asked to do a certain job and you do it?
When it comes to like this piece right here, the Wraith Minions, it's literally based on a little cartoon that ICP did back in 1992. And the great thing about these guys is they give me no art direction. They just let me do whatever I want to, and they never make any changes to it. They just let me run with it. So that's why I've continued to do it. And they promoted a lot of my stuff, and I have a good sized following in the Juggalo community, which is fans of Insane Clown Posse. I mean, they have 1 million fans, and they have music festivals, and they have concert events and stuff like that. And they invite me to these just to do meet and greet with the people. And they have Dark Carnival Convention, which is a gaming convention every year, and they invite me out to that. So it's a great way just to meet the fans and just get out there, and sort of talk about how much they appreciate artwork.
None of this is computer generated, right?
Well, everything is penciled first. I'll do pencil sketches, breakdowns, just old school, how we always did it back in the day. But it's penciled, and then I'll do my shading breakdowns in pencil, and then I'll scan in the inks, and then I'll airbrush. I used to use a Pache and a Badger back in the 80s and early 90s. And then when Photoshop came along and they had these Wacom pens that look like this, I mean, this is your airbrush now. So it's all airbrushed right on the screen. So it makes it a lot better, because I would stay up till 3 or 4 in the morning airbrushing, and I would have, trails of paint that would go up my nostrils. Oh. And once you finish painting, it would, you would have to tear your whole brush apart and clean it for another hour and a half. And it was just a nightmare. And then when Photoshop came along, you just had to hit save and you could go to bed. And it just was all the difference. Production, I was able to do so much more art after that. And also it makes it easy to reformat going from one product to the next. Let's say this would be great for a bed sheet, but you'll have to reformat it to fit it on a coffee cup or a skateboard.
Carolyn, I'll ask you that, but if you heard us Wednesday or before that, a couple weeks before that, we've talked about AI. It is not allowed in Writers of the Future, Illustrators of the Future. It's a no. You can't use AI art or AI art. You can't for writing. Even though Jeffrey Weiner showed me some fabulous things with it, I was very impressed when he came on showing it, and I could see where it's going to cause a problem for some people in the future. But I know most artists, like when you heard Tom just talking pencil, most of them are going to have a trail to their picture. In other words, it's not going to just be the finished product. There's going to be work up to the finished product, at least most of the time. Am I wrong? Am I right?
No, you're absolutely right.
And
and we talked about that before too. And that's what I said. I'm going to start, I've started doing like where I'll show like a YouTube short of me actually doing the sketch first, and then,
Oh,
know,
that's a
what
great idea.
inspired me, like a picture, whatever. So people know my process, that I didn't just take it off of AI, and I didn't, I'll show, because I paint and draw and use oils and acrylics and everything else. But have you ever, Tom, have you used Procreate? That's what I use for most of my graphic design. It's similar to Adobe. I use Adobe a lot for my photography,
Hmm.
but I found that Procreate, I started using that. A lot of my my tattoo artists use Procreate actually, and it's I don't know. I like it better than Adobe for many reasons, but it's a similar process as you have
Hmm.
as far as graphic design and illustration, I guess.
Yeah. When we do some of the classes at Rise of the Future, a lot of the students use Procreate and they use it on their tablets, and I'm able to watch them. And it does look like it really facilitates the illustration very quickly. As far as what's usually scribble sketches, it can clean it up and it makes it very professional looking right off the bat,
Yeah.
which Photoshop doesn't do. Photoshop does exactly what your hand
tell
does.
it to.
So
Yeah, what you tell it to do is what it's
it
doing.
doesn't do it. There's not a lot of enhancement there. Other
See,
than,
you
Well,
gotta watch Procreate.
Procreate,
Maybe
it's
they
not.
might start thinking it's AI or something.
oh no, I
Well,
mean,
Procreate doesn't enhance. Unless you, maybe I don't know how to do that, but just like I'm old school, so I just know the basic, different brushes and things like that.
oh, that's
Um,
great. But yeah, if someone was doing cartoons and if I would see their brushstroke and I knew that it wasn't a perfect brushstroke, but even after they finished it, it would just take that same line and it would smooth it out, add line weight to it, and everything
oh
else
wow,
that made it very clean and
huh.
finished looking, just from a single sketch stroke.
Since
I
I
haven't
can't
found
draw,
that
yeah,
then.
since I can't even draw stick people, Tom.
Oh, neither can I, so don't feel bad.
So I'm really, artist. I'm just a mess with any artwork. But who and what does it take to win this contest? What do you look for in this thing?
I would say creativity, and also I'd say technical difficulty as far as accomplishing something. If something is really detailed and just a huge scene where you can tell they have spent days, if not weeks, on this piece, that impresses me. And just the level of attention to detail and how creative they can get. If I can tell that they've used a lot of photographic reference and stuff, I don't have a problem with photo reference, but a lot of fantasy, if they can use their own imagination, that scores points with me, instead of just using some kind of photograph to illustrate over every part of the piece. And a lot of people, even some of the winners last year, not only use photo reference. I wouldn't say a lot of them. One of them did, and I kind of give him a hard time about it. But you could tell he put the photograph into his illustration and then just tried to clean it up a little bit. It wasn't a true illustration. So yeah,
I can see, but
I wasn't as sweet to him as I was everybody else.
But that's your job. See, ladies and gentlemen, if you win and you get the privilege of having Tom's lessons, he's going to show you the right way. And let me tell you what, these guys, like I said, these guys are friendly and nice, but don't screw up, because they're going to let you know you screwed up. Whether you're an illustrator or a writer, trust me on this. If you're doing something stupid, they're going to tell you. That's what they're there for. They're there to help you
doing
become.
To be mean. I want him to be. If he wants to be an artist and he wants to be competitive in this industry, I'm going to try to tell him this is what the clients are looking for. This is what the industry is looking for. So, and all of them seem to take that to heart, and most of them this last batch, Joe. If I don't know if you agree or not, but this last batch was amazing. Some of those
They were really, they were a little hard to get to talk, but they were really their artwork was great. Ladies, yeah, Christy, I'll go over that real quick. So this is something I found out in the last about 8 years. Illustrators, when they're coming up, getting them to do an hour interview is like pulling freaking teeth. I mean, you get half hour if you're lucky. On the other hand, authors, when they're younger, are very chatty, but it flip-flops when they get older. When they get older, authors get less chatty and illustrators get more chatty. Maybe it's confidence for the illustrators. Maybe they, because, well, if you listen to Tom, you think, okay, Tom does this. No, this is secondhand for Tom. This is nothing. He could do this standing on his head if he wanted to. That just shows he's very confident in not just his art, but in his speaking as well. In the beginning, illustrators are not, because they a lot of them live inside. So authors, some of them do too, live inside this little world they got where they're doing stuff. And when they have to break out and talk to someone like me, it makes them nervous. And I am a little bit scary sometimes. So it's, but I always tell them all the same thing. I'm there for them. I'm not there to be mean. I'm there to be nice. Because John has a good time. You can be mean. I said, no, I want them to understand how to deal with media in a way that's going to be productive for them. Because I tell them all the time, if you find yourself on a stage or interview or in an interview or on TV or radio and you don't feel comfortable or you feel like they're taking advantage, just end it. It's your interview. You have complete control. And you know what? It always makes the host look like an ass. If somebody it always does. Their own people might love them, but anybody else who listens to the interview will go, well, the host was being, and you know what? And that was the right thing to do. I've ended interviews before, and because I talk about controversial stuff, so I can cause some trouble.
Well, you've interviewed me twice in the last 3 or 4 years.
Yes, but I'm mellow with age, though, so we have to take that in
So,
consideration.
and you were you're really nice. I mean, you asked tough questions, but you were nice.
As long as nobody's BSing me, I'm fine. If I think I'm being BS'd or you're going to talk circles, I'm going to get on your ass somewhere in a conversation. It's just one of those things. Christy, no. So you got to win first. Okay, you got 2 ways to get there this year. Well, no, you only got 1 way to get this year. They've already picked all the winners this year. But you can win that trip and you can come out. Well, let me be honest. First off, you have to be in the U.S. And secondly, you're not going to be allowed to attend any of the courses. You're only there for the gala and to meet everybody. So you're going to have 2 great days. You're going to get to go to a big gala event with Hollywood movie stars and admirals and generals and all sorts of stuff. But no, the classes are just for the winners. I've had people actually offer me money to come, and John just laughed because it's not for that. This is just for the winners. And I have sat through a lot of the illustrator courses, and I sat through a lot of the writers course. Let me tell you what, I told you before I could only draw a stick man, but I actually understand how things work a little better now. I understand shading a little better. I actually understand quite a lot about art better. I still will never be an artist. Same thing with writing. I actually have learned quite a bit, and I'm neither one of these. So just think, if you have talent and you attend this, what you're going to learn. I'm not saying you won't know some of this already, but someone like Tom, really and truly, I mean, this is what he does a week out of the year. Yeah, if you want to pay the man, maybe. Yeah, I guess he could probably start a school if he wanted to. But that's just irritating is what that is.
But these people trying to come in and fool a pro like Tom, they're not going to fool somebody like Tom.
No, they're not going to fool.
And it's just like a musician. If you go into a band and they're really good and you suck, they're going to find out real quick. I wouldn't even go into that and then try to fool the pro. Artists or whatever.
And know this, people, if you do win as a writer or illustrator, don't go in with an attitude. Okay. You just won for whatever reason. And the illustrators win at a much younger age than the authors do. The authors tend to be 30 plus. We've had quite a few illustrators under the age of 30. I think we even had one was 16 or 17.
Yeah, I think we had a 17-year-old last year.
Yeah. So the thing of it is you don't cop it out, because you there's no way possibly you can think you're better than any of the illustrators or artists that are there. Just don't. Oh no, they do use live models. Yes, at least some of the teachers actually do use live models at the class.
That's true.
They all use live models outside for different things. But yeah, no, they use live models. No, yes. The first time I seen it, I was like, wow, what is this, a strip show? I said, Echo, what's going on in here, girl?
Tom, you know Joe really well. So have you ever drawn a caricature picture of Joe?
No, you don't need to do that.
No, but I mean, Joe would make a hell of a caricature.
Oh my God!
Especially if you know his personality. I think
yes, because Tom knows it. Yeah,
oh my goodness! Yes, you could have so many different.
Oh Lord,
personalities portrayed in caricatures.
Somebody did 4 of them on me a while back when I was younger, when I had hair all over the place and frizzing all over the place, which was kind of weird. And but anyway, we don't need to be talking about things like that. I'll tell you this. I will tell y'all this. I'm not going to get into this deeply because this is personal stuff for him. But well, not personal, but he puts his money where his mouth is. And the reason I know that is one of the winners ended up doing some work for him last year. Now, nobody had to tell me this. I'm just a nosy bastard.
How did you know that?
Because I'm a nosy bastard. But I'm just what I mean by this,
How
and
the
I have
hell did you find out about that?
yes.
But yeah, I mean,
I'm all seeing, all knowing, man. You should know that by now. But I don't want to get into it. I mean, it's up to you if you want to talk to it. Now, all I can say is I know the guy that was doing it. The guy was very talented. Matter of fact, I got to give this guy credit because he's a slick little shit. So it was Tom and I and Larry, wasn't it? And we were sitting on the counter on the patio, just talking. weren't really drinking or anything. We were just maybe had one little drink or something, but we were just chatting in the hotel room. And this guy who was there the whole time, he was absorbing it like it was, oh man. I got to give him credit. He was smart. There was a place to be, you know, and I liked his artwork, but I couldn't be a judge. Somebody said, well, why don't you judge reading? I said, because nobody would ever win. I'd get halfway through a book and say, no, this is not going to work for me.
No, but you're right. I would hire them. And if any of the students showed as much, I would say, potential and was as excited about wanting to work with us as he was, because this kid just had tremendous talent and he was, really interested in the subject matter. And he was multi-skilled as far as he could sketch, he could paint, he could do 3D animation and stuff. So he had all these, even at this young age, he had so many tools at his fingertips to succeed in this industry. And I was like, man, I would love to work with you on a project. So a few months later, a project actually came along that was like, man, I could definitely use this kid on this. He wants to make some money. And I've done probably 4 or 5 projects with him since then. And,
he's a nice guy too. I mean, I was impressed with him. I mean, you don't understand. You have to be there to actually know what I'm talking about. But he was smart in the way he was talking with us. And I'm not an artist. You have to remember Larry and Tom are the artists. And one of these days, I'll have to get Larry on the show. We did a little interview.
Definitely get Larry on the show. He's
a character. Now I got. Was it the 3 of y'all? I know we got one interview with the 3 of them together on the couch. That was a good interview. But he's a character. Is all I can tell y'all. He's fun to talk to. He knows his stuff, and he's older, but he's just fun to talk to. And I got to tell you, all the illustrators, at least the judges, are very easy to talk to. As far as me, but I'm not there to learn anything. I'm just there to harass them about press. I'm not there for anything else. And to harass their students about press. That's what I'm there for. But they're very easy to talk to. And I was very impressed with that, how easy. I was impressed with 2 things with the whole bunch of them. One, they're very easy to talk to. But when they're talking to you as a student, they're very pointed in the way they deal with you. Not in a rude sense of way, just in an education sense of way. They take it serious when you're doing something. When you show them something, and they're going to tell you what they think about it. That's what they're there for. And they're also going to give you suggestions. I've never heard him. Oh, you just need to throw that in the trash. Not yet, anyway. But I mean, they're all of them are. I don't want to take anything away from any of the illustrator judges I've met because they're all just like that. They want to see y'all succeed. What do you mean, Janine? Competition? They're not going to be competition for Tom, not for long. But at Tom, they're competition for Tom. He'll be retired, man. Just don't even. No, we're going to put some more stuff up as we're going along. But I've seen a lot of Tom's work, and I've seen some of his commercial stuff too. I don't think he's got anything to worry about. Well, he's done some pretty big commercial companies, and if he wants to talk about it, we'll talk about it. But he's been with some big groups. What do you mean? I'm all knowing, all seeing.
Well, Tom,
go ahead.
Sorry, go ahead. I was going to ask if you've had the same style forever, or if that's evolved over time, and if so, what influenced that?
Well, I think my style was sort of majorly influenced from Frank Frazetta when I was 9 years old. I seen the. Oh, actually, I've got the actual album over here. It was this. I seen this when I was 9 years old at Walmart, even though I didn't listen to this kind of music.
Wait, where are you? Sorry about that, guys. Didn't mean to do that.
Oh,
there you go.
I seen this Motley Hatchet album.
Oh yeah.
At Walmart when I was 9, and I was like, and of course I've been drawing dinosaurs and sharks at the time, but when I seen that, it just sort of drew me over, and I was just mesmerized by Frank Frazetta's work, and I was like, that's what I want to do. So that same summer, I bought all the Robert E. Howard books from the chronology of Conan, and just because it had his covers on there. So I tried to start illustrating like that. But Frank had a really great style as far as
he's a classy guy too.
Parts, and then he would sort of loosen up as he went out. But he was just a genius when it comes to that kind of stuff. And my stuff, it's hard for me to let go. Once I start illustrating a certain tightness, it's hard for me to loosen up and try to draw the eye as well as Frank did. But yeah, that was so I've always drawn kind of in that vein and trying to sort of continue to get better down that. But I try to diversify that too. I can do fantasy art work, and also I do caricatures, and I do, photorealistic illustrations, really whatever the job calls for. So it keeps it fresh, and also do logo designs and stuff like that. So I try to not do just one style of art.
And we're going to put some more up in a few minutes, but all I can say is the man's talented. And he lives in a state where I don't think they appreciate art as much as other states do. We're not going to. No, I'm just kidding. People, I know y'all know what I'm talking about. Don't write to me.
Joe, you mentioned.
Look, I live in Mississippi. I can't say nothing. Okay.
You mentioned authors a while ago. Tom, how about I'm on my fourth book now, but I cannot draw. How can an author get a hold of some good illustrators? Or people that's in the business? Do you have lines or people that that you can put with authors?
What most people do with me is they see some of my artwork. Of course, they can easily track the signature back to Tom Wood or Tom Wood a certain painting, and then it's an easy Google search to find TomWoodFantasyArt.com, and then you could always just message directly to the artist if you like his style. Of course, there's other places like Tate Licensing that represents dozens of excellent illustrators, and you just have to contact Tate and deal with the agent to be able to deal with or work with some of those artists.
Yeah, Christy, Frank Frazetta is the one I say is the Dean Martin of art.
Absolutely,
he got class. He looks kind of like Dean. He got that swagger.
Yeah,
the man is slick. I look, the first time I see him, I'm like, I like this guy. I didn't even know what he was doing yet. And then I seen his artwork. I'm like, I double like this guy. I like people with class.
Is he still working?
Oh no, Frank
passed.
He passed away a few years ago.
And I wish he's still around because he's a classy guy. I like them kind of classy guys, man. Cigarette and glass of bourbon.
Yeah, that was him.
I can't say nothing. I like that. No, we're not talking about Bud Light. We'll say that for another night.
Dave, have you heard of Dribble? DRIBBBLE, I think is the.
Yeah, I think.
You can find, occasionally if I want a different. People ask. I bet you get this a lot too, Tom. When you're wanting artwork for something, I assume you, as you were talking about, collaborate with other artists or commission other artists for stuff. I do that all the time for logos and things because I don't want my own artwork. I'm like, I do, but I'm saying, for something for myself, like if I'm buying art or like for a tattoo, I want that artist's artwork. So I do reach out to artists from all over the world for various things. But Dribble, you can find some amazing, kids and that might be too intimidated to actually put their work out there. But you can hire them. Dribble's like a I guess it's kind of like the freelance sites, Upwork or Fever or whatever those are, but for the artists and the creative community.
Hey, Janny, that's your next boyfriend? Is that what you're saying?
Let's get up.
That's Joe. What he looks like.
Go to the fantasy art, Joe, if you don't mind.
Okay, no problem.
This is enough ICP stuff. You guys are going to start getting scared of me any second now.
No, man, that's good stuff, man. What you talking about? That's good stuff. Don't be. Wait, where's it at? I know it's fantasy art. There it is. Okay. He's got some great stuff in here, people. Is all I can tell you. Well, I got a surprise from on another page. I didn't even know he did this other stuff, but we're not going to do that right now. We're going to save it for a little while.
You are full of surprises tonight.
Well,
whoa, hey, baby, who is this? I'm in love. Wait a minute. Wait, let me
I know the copyrights are
close
really
your eyes,
strong.
Trish. You don't need to see these kind of things.
I know the copyrights are really
I've never
strong, Tom.
seen.
I see no. I'm sorry. She's a hottie, man.
I don't. Yeah, she's cute.
So let's see. Let me get back over here where we were.
Was that a real model sketch?
I've
or what?
I've started.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Okay, this looks like she'd be having an issue here.
Yeah, this is called Hot Zombie. This was actually a request from Trends International, which was I was doing a lot of posters for them at the time, and zombies were just starting to get hot at the time, and they was like, we've seen a lot of zombies, do something, new and fresh that no one's seen before with a zombie, and I'm like, well, I've never seen one that was actually attractive, so that's what I kind of tried to do with her.
See, if they would put her on that show, it might get another 2 seasons or something.
Yeah, you never know.
I'm just saying, they put her on it, they might. Actually, everything you've seen is for sale, guys. You can go to his website and you can buy it off the website. I've just closed it in where you can't see what it was, how much it is, or anything like that.
That's fine.
So we can see the picture better. That's all.
Sure.
Tomorrow,
Tom, are these women that you've drawn here, or were they models that you were just drawing from, or did you just come out of your cerebral with that?
Yeah, most of them most of them were models.
Okay.
And see, she's a cutie.
Yeah. Tough
He's got
job.
such a good life. I know, man. I want his job, man. What the hell?
I met at one of the cons, and she was a cosplayer, and she posed for this piece.
That's it. I met a lot of cosplayers at Dragon Con.
Yeah.
And all I wanted interviews. I'm like, guys, I said, here's my card. Call me in a couple of weeks. And then when I was at Fantasy X, then I got Fan X, and I made friends with one of the lights. We gave away $21,000 worth of lightsabers for the holidays for Christmas.
Holy cow.
And somebody said, well, that's a lot. I said, actually, it's not. I said about 10 of them were about $900. He's like, really? Yeah, they're outrageously expensive. But apparently the guy made over 200 G's by giving them away. So I'm not going to complain. We're going to do it again next Christmas. He's already got them picked out which ones we're going to do already.
That's awesome.
I love that logo.
Is this Medusa? Oh, yeah, this is
Medusa.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I love that logo. Looks like a sword and T and
Medusa.
To Trish's point, I always do all my own artwork, but I have a friend named Bill Littleton who's one of the good friend of mine. In fact, he's one of my best friends, and has been for 20 years. And he mocked this up and said, "Hey, what do you think about this for your logo?" And I'm like, I hate to say it, but I really like it. So that's been my logo ever since. But yeah,
that's a good thing because one, it looks good, and two, you didn't have to strain your brain.
Yeah, right.
Well, but I mean,
well,
it's
logos
always
are a
good to
bit
get,
sometimes.
an outside perspective, especially if it's something that's going to be representing you, because sometimes other people, have a completely a broader, I guess, perspective of us than ourselves probably would. So I think, yeah, for things like that. And logos I do a lot of logos, but it drives me crazy because I feel so feel they're very confining to your creative freedom. You can only have so many colors and so many.
I used to design all my own logos. I actually do contests now and let people design them for me. It seems to work really well. I get really nice logos. Some of them I've kept around for 2 decades and actually look so nice. And then some of them, some of them held up well in the future and some not so well. Times change. Believe love.
My daughter has asked, about, she's seen some logos and stuff on vehicles or billboards or something that I designed, like, I don't know, in the 90s maybe. And she's like, Mom, that's not very, that's kind of ugly. I'm like, okay, listen, in the 90s, printers could only have like 2 layers of any, you couldn't. We were limited pixels, okay? Like, there wasn't.
That's right. Y'all special people who live up in a different world than we do. Yes.
It's Kansas. Okay, we're
Yeah.
years behind everyone else in the world.
For me, I'm glad you said canvas because for me, the canvas thing, I don't know what this is with me. Maybe because I'm older. I really like art on canvas, especially oil. Now, don't get me wrong. I like everything in general because I just like artwork in general. But maybe it's too many trips in private school to different galleries growing up as a kid. I don't know what it is, but for some reason, anything on canvas seems to catch my attention faster. Maybe because I know it's harder. Maybe not necessarily for some people, but I know for others it is. Ladies and gentlemen, that's the link if you want to go submit to the try to win the 3-day trip. It's right there. But still, and I come to find out, a lot of my friends and even acquaintances, I come to find out that were doing artwork like this and stuff, have a little sneaky side where they do canvas. I was like, oh, really? Now let's take a look at this. It's a thing on me. I don't want to put it on anybody else because it's just something I personally like. But Deline, I've seen all the great works, everything that would come into the South that I could see. I went and seen anything I could catch, like when I was at the New York Metropolitan or when I was at the Smithsonian. I just have a thing for it. But just weird because I have a real thing for oils, and then of course while I was at the Smithsonian, the rest of the time I was looking at space flight and other things like that. So the geek side of me came out. What can I say? I was at the Smithsonian.
Yeah, I wanted to ask Tom that question. Any of your artwork ever went into like museums or any art galleries or anything like that? Do they accept this type of art in the, I guess, the elite artistic
I don't
world?
know if my stuff would be well suited in a
It will. It will when he dies. They'll put it in there.
I mean, maybe. I mean, I have been asked to, do a gallery show in Chicago or something, or actually it was Chicago, but I just never, followed up with it or, prepared the artwork to get it done, and because I just wasn't that. Interested in doing a gallery show, but
don't most artists do galleries so their work can get known and they can make money? I mean, your work is already known and you're already making money.
Yeah, I guess so. And fantasy art is not the same as well,
that's true.
Like fine arts with landscapes and
I've been to some
kind of stuff and these really beautifully done portraits. It's just a different aesthetic. So I just really didn't know. More of my stuff seems to be.
Well, I think you would beat out a lot of these galleries that I've attended where they had like 2 X's and a round circle was the picture. I'm like, what?
Yeah.
I've seen some stuff that I'm like, and I got in trouble at one. I was in New York, matter of fact, and I went and attended this. A friend of mine asked me to attend with it. And I'm looking at this stuff so I finally asked, I said, who decided this was art?
Yeah.
Everybody in the place just looked at me like, well, I want to know. I mean, because I don't know. I mean, personally, I think I could put paintbrushes on my Chihuahua and they'd do better than that. I don't know. Sometimes I get lost because I don't see it. Maybe that's just me. Maybe it's limited in my brain or something, but I just don't see it. I mean, I've seen some beautiful stuff in my time, and I've seen some stuff like, well, I got a good friend who does welding sculptures, and some of them are really good, and some of them you're like, really? And what were you smoking the day you did this? like, really, dude? What were you thinking when you did this? Yeah, he looks good to me. I'm like, I'm sure it does. He gets a lot of money for that stuff, by the way. He did one for the city of New Orleans. They paid him $750,000 for this thing that's not even 2x2.
Oh my God.
That's what I said. I was like,
I need that gig.
I said,
Wow.
give me a torch, man.
I
love.
I have a problem. I started with in a gallery type studio, and I found that I would get offended by some people's not whether they liked it or not, but I guess it's easier when it's online. That doesn't happen. I don't get offended as much because I remember this one I painted an elk, a stag in the middle of a forest. on a maple, or not a maple leaf, sorry, it was a giant, an oak leaf, like a real oak leaf. And it took me, most people don't realize that if they don't do art, how long it might take somebody to create those dimensions and layers and things like that. I mean, this thing, it took me like 3 days, and it was just, it's probably like 8 by 5 or 6 maybe. And I framed it in a floating frame, and I was like, it was tiny little detail stuff, because I had to paint over the oak lines, the natural. And so this lady comes in, she says, I didn't even have it priced that high. And she said, I don't know, I'll give you like $40 for it. And I'm like,
Oh,
you know what I mean? So I take it more personally, I guess, in a gallery or like a studio than I do online, because you're not face to face with those people. So
Joe, it looks like you and I are outnumbered. We got 2 artists and the 2 non-artists.
Look,
Yeah.
I love good art. I got to say, why would
I do
somebody
too.
make
I
this
really
picture
do.
bigger?
Yeah.
It's one of the reasons I like going to Writers of the Future. I'll have to blow this up. This is actually the new cover this is the one Tom did. And it'll actually
is that the biggest picture they sent you, Joe?
No, I don't know what this is. This is some garbage stuff here. I just had one earlier, probably because I'm on the wrong computer is what the problem is. But this is off of what the hell is this? Oh, okay, I see what this is. This is from what's the store with the Target? I was going to say what's the store with the Target on it. Apparently, I'm smoking something tonight. Shit. Oh man, that was just bad in many, many ways. No, I got a better shot. I'm going to find it because it's really a good picture, guys. You can tell he did a lot of work on it. And when I first seen it, I was like, because I was at that the reveal that night. Everybody was talking. I was just sitting there listening, which John was stunned. I didn't say anything. John was like, "Wait, what? You're not going to say anything?" I said, "No, I'm busy." I said, "I just want to keep up with what's going on." See, you can see it behind us there. That's a good shot, but that's not the one we're after.
That's still kind of low res.
It is.
I could have sent you a super high resolution shot.
I'm hoping this next one is. So we're going to find that right here. Present, share screen.
Tom, I wanted to ask you about the old artists, the ones that are like Picasso and Monet. Did any of those inspire you when you were 5 years old?
No, I kind of learned about them a little bit later.
Okay, why didn't it flip?
Monet is one of my favorite artists. I own so many prints of his and several books that Monet, or just on Monet prints. And
I love the pastels, right?
One of my favorites.
Yeah.
I mean, because of its use of light, and even when it comes to the fantasy art stuff, light is really what makes a painting. It's either the contrast and the lighting gives it the depth and the realism that you're looking for. And, nobody was better at light usage than Monet was, in my opinion.
Oh yeah, I got you on full screen now. Oh yeah, that's much better. Okay, I can let it. So I don't know what to look at, Tom, with a picture, man. You don't need to be in these pictures. You take it away from your own artwork, man.
Yeah, he cleans up really well, don't he?
I know he's a good looking guy. Oh, speaking of that, it's funny. I'm not gonna mention no names because I don't want to get in trouble. But so when we're at these things, these girls. Good thing he's got a wife because these girls follow him around like little puppies, man. I was like, a couple of them, and these not baby girls either. These aren't young girls. I mean, they're good looking girls, but it's funny.
What?
Oh yeah, they're like little puppies walking by.
I didn't see
very first time me, Tom. I'm sitting there. Well, I hadn't even met him yet. I was watching. He was over there talking to somebody. It's like 5 girls there. I'm like, damn. And I'm like, who's this guy? And then 2 of them were just tracking him down. I was like, damn. This guy must be somebody important, man. What's going on over there? Then I realized it was a crush. I was like, oh, I see what's going on now.
I have no idea what you're even talking about.
Why? Because I don't want to get you in trouble, so I ain't going to say no names. I don't get me in trouble either for that matter, so I ain't going to say no names.
It's not like, Tom, could you come to my house and teach me how to draw?
Well, I think someone wanting them to draw and using them as canvas, but we're not going to go there either. Okay. No, this looks good when I got it on full screen. So, guys and girls, remember, you can put anything that we're watching on full screen. Oh, so wait a minute. So, Cheryl, what are you doing? Oh, you got him on your 70-inch TV. I know he looked good on a 70-inch TV, don't he? The picture looks good. He looks good. It's a whole good picture all the way around. Well, this is just the picture itself. This isn't with all the BS that goes on it from the book itself, which you'll see. You know, it'll say book 39 up in the right corner, and they'll be writing in different places and stuff. No, I think it's badass. I had to blow it up because when they first seen him, I couldn't see the face. I'm like, what do you mean? I know you put a face on this thing. I said, I got to go find it. But it was the picture they sent me. The first picture they sent me was just really, really low. You couldn't get much detail out of it. But I got a couple of other ones I'm pulling up, and these have way more detail. You want to give him $100,000, he might paint it for you.
Yeah, Tom, I can see what you're talking about, the light there, where you draw some of the light lines under the wings and things, and it kind of just blows the picture up.
Sure.
I mean, yeah, without that light, it would be kind of a dark like setting. Yeah.
Well, the part of the dragon that was fun, it was really challenging about this is because when it comes to a dragon that's made completely of fire, you don't have the ability to shade like you would a normal, anything, because it's all luminous. So, trying to create depth and, shadow when it's all light was kind of challenging. And then certainly cheated a few places just to try to finish this piece. But, I was really happy with the way it came out. And of course, when you're dealing with Larry Elmore, when you're going back to the awards with Larry Elmore and Dan DeSantos and Echo and all of these incredibly talented artists, and they ask you to do the cover for the book, you got to put something out there that's, your A game, because
and they put a timeline on you too, right?
Oh yeah, they did. They give me 2 months to get it done, which is plenty of time. So that wasn't
for time. It's plenty of time. They tell me, dude, this will be 6 years from now. It's still be
So fun fact in not just the witches world, but Asian cultures as well. April is actually the month of the dragon, and in 2023, it is the fire dragon. It's represented. So
see, he hit it right on the money.
Oh my gosh!
Yeah,
it's
right.
Well, if you win the contest, you can meet him. No, I'm not going to introduce him to you because I don't know who the hell you are. So, let me explain something right off the bat. Look, I'll talk to anybody. Everybody knows that. If you want to come meet me, that's fine. They're going to they're putting us up at the Lowe's Hotel. So if you win, that's where you'll be staying. It's a nice hotel. It's in Hollywood. And you'll get to meet a lot of people. But remember this, you're there as a guest to see how it is. Don't irritate everybody, okay? Because I will have John run your ass off. I'm just telling you ahead of time. I'm not kidding about this. All these people come here. You're going to be there for Friday and Saturday when all the good stuff is going on. And who knows? You might actually get invited somewhere on Friday night or Saturday. But absorb it. Enjoy it. It's what you're there for. And if you can get a chance to talk to some of the artists or some of the judges, you can. I would concentrate more on the artists if I was y'all, and because when it gets close to the gala, everybody's really gets busy and it's kind of crazy, and then they cram us all in the limousines and drag us over there, and so everybody's got something they're doing or sitting, or you mean sitting at somebody's I have nothing to do with that. I think Joni does that. Yeah, I probably you'll get to sit in one of the tables. You mean at a table with one of us? No, they're not going to do that. I can tell you that now. You could ask. But I have no control of any of that. Nah, it has nothing to do with me. They sit me with Joni because they want to keep an eye on me. That's you sit there, Joey, behave yourself. And no, they put me between her and what's her name? I can't remember this girl's name. Who's
John? Your security or something?
No, Joni.
She's the director of the whole.
She the boss.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, if you are submitted and she calls you, you should smile. That's all I can say. And no, she's the boss, and I give her hell the whole time I'm there. I'm like, come on.
She loves it though. The more hell you give her, the more.
She has no problem dealing with me. It's rare I can find somebody who can deal with me like she does, and she has no problem. She cracks me up sometimes. We were doing something. She said, "Well, you didn't bring a tux with you this time." I said, "Yeah, I brought a damn black." Freaking expensive suit. I said, I didn't think I needed it. You want to wear a jacket. Threw me in a van off. We went and got a jacket. I was like, Jody.
Yeah. Tom, I wanted to ask you a question. Since I'm a musician, I know how musicians think. and Joe probably knows that too. But being an artist is completely different to me. And like you take Spielberg and all these movie producers, they come up with all these ideas, like you, with the ideas you come up with. Is there a seed of truth in any of the drawings that you do? I mean, are they taken from something that you might have dreamed up, or something that kind of come to you?
You know, a lot of the stuff, especially the scarier stuff, I try to put myself in a sort of state of mind where I'm trying to think of anything that would scare me. And you know, growing up in the country, you know, we're out here in the middle of nowhere. There's not a lot of stuff that, you know, that does really scare me. But there are some things, you know, in the past that's made the hair on the back of my neck stand up. And, you know, I'll try to sort of hone in on those feelings or whatever it was that scared me and just go from that.
Encapsulate, yeah.
Yeah, and also, I try to study the market and see what, you know, if I'm going to spend 40 hours painting on something, I needed to make some money. You know, I needed to pay for some of that time. So, you know, it's great to do whatever you want, but it's nice to do stuff you like and also be able to do it for a living. That way, you get to do it every day instead of doing it when you get off work or on the weekend. So it's, you know, if you can figure out a way to be happy, compromise maybe on the side of I just want to do whatever I want and do stuff that you like, but it can also be profitable, is the way to go if you're going to do this professionally.
I wonder what it is I found here. What is this?
What are you looking at?
I know. What am I looking at here? It's got your name on it. That's all.
It's got my name on it?
Yes, it actually says, hold on. Tom Wood Fantasy Canvas Prints.
Yeah, I didn't license this.
I was like, when I seen this, I said, I didn't know he did this kind of stuff. I was going to have to ask him about it.
In fact, there's like 600 Tom Wood artists out there. So.
It just hit, when it said fantasy, I was like, it said Tom Wood Fantasy. I instantly thought, I'm like, wait a minute. So I'm going to have to ask him about this.
No.
And so, you know. Yes, people, what are you talking about, Janine? Yeah, submit. That's all I can tell you. They're still submitting for the next year. For book 40, submit. That's all I can tell you. No, you know, Carolyn asked me that. Do I have any pull with the judges? Not to get y'all to win, no. I got pull with the judges, but not for that. I'm going to be honest with y'all. There's no way I can help y'all to win. There's no palm in nobody's hands or anything like that. It's not gonna work. I don't know what to tell you. It's just not going to happen. You got to win on your own merit, and then you get to meet people like Tom, and you know, they rotate judges some years, so you don't know who's going to be there and who's not all the time. But this is a lot of good people there. A lot of the writer judges are good too, and a lot of famous judges there. Some of them are quiet, famous, meaning that they're very rich, but famous in different ways. And some of them are outright famous because they've written books that have been turned into movies like Dune or Ender's Game or Pirates of the Caribbean. And so, you know, those people are there, and this is people who are going to help you. And then there's some like Dave who have just written 100 million books. And, and you know, he sells a lot of books, people. I mean, he has his own corporation. So I'm not hating. I mean, it's just, there's different levels of writing here and different things that go on. And then there's some behind the scenes kind of writers out there. And then there's all the winners. And some of the stories I've read, I was telling John the other day, I started out, I'm at book 26 now. I'm reading backwards. I've enjoyed them all. So if I enjoyed last year's stories, I enjoyed the years before. Well, I read them because I'm going to be doing interviews. And one of the things I teach these people when we're there, I tell them, if you don't think the guy knows what he's talking about, or he's BS, you call him out on something in the book. And they're like, really? I'm like, yeah, really. So we're doing an interview. The little girl goes, well, what about this? And I said, oh, well, what about this? She said, oh, so you did read it. I said, well, he's sort of. I was cheating. But, you know, that's the thing, because it allows them to get the interviewer on their back foot, and it makes for a funner, better interview. Unless the host gets, you know, there are some whiny hosts out there. I can't help that. But for the most part, most everybody's out there is into the same things for different reasons. Oh, wait, who is this?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's my mermaid hunt. That's one of my. This was actually the cover of.
You sure this ain't Amber Turd? I'm just saying, it kind of looks like amber, man. I'm just
Yeah, it
asking.
does. Since you said that, yes, it does. Tom, how
No,
long
good.
does it take you to draw something like that?
It takes about 40, usually 30 to 40 hours to finish it.
Oh,
Yeah, that's a lot of work, people.
Yeah.
Y'all need to buy these things to keep this man in food.
yeah.
I mean, look, he's looking kind of skinny. I need to feed this guy. No, Janine, I'm just teasing. I know he's comfortable, so I'm not going to tell you anything about that. That was told to me in confidence, so y'all can't. You'll have to just get to know him and find out stuff like that.
What was the question?
They just want to know how rich you were.
Yeah.
And why I made that crack about the state, because he lives in a southern state. That's all I'm saying. I don't want to tell you what state. Y'all want to go. Look, he got a wife kick y'all's ass, by the way. So you just need to calm your little girl selves down here. See, now you got a whole nother crack. If they win, they'll be following you around too. Oh shit!
Awesome.
No, I cannot say who that was at the. No way. Them girls would hurt me. I got to work with them girls. They'll hurt me. No, I enjoy them all. Like he had mentioned Sarah earlier. Sarah is like, she's like 5 foot nothing. I mean, she might weigh 100 pounds if she's lucky. She's probably the best salesperson they have.
She is, yeah.
She
Her
is
and Emily are
nonstop. Oh yeah,
dynamic
Emily's tough.
duo.
Man.
You can't not buy something from those two.
I was doing an interview with Emily at Dragon Con, it was FanX, and I'm watching Sarah just, and you can see Emily's like, I gotta get up, she's getting ahead of me. I was like, Emily, sit your ass down. Oh yes, we had to talk about Turley's butt on that show for some reason. If y'all don't know who Turley is, that's from Earth Final Conflict. It's I can't tell y'all that. Some of these things you gotta go find out on your own. Go read and look. Well, we're going through his artwork, but he's got a ton. We're not even touching on what this man has. We're not anything of his commercial stuff. Well, Deneen, no, we can't let him work for Bud Light. I'm sorry. He might grow rainbows or something. I'm just teasing. All right, Bud Light people, I'm not hating on you. I'm just saying, you might turn rainbowish if you drink.
Oh my god.
I'm just kidding, guys. I don't drink beer. I'm sorry. Every once in a while I do drink beer, but not when I was young, I drank beer. Now I prefer like whiskey.
Yeah.
It takes a lot for me to get a buzz.
Yeah.
I will drink a beer. Don't get me wrong. Now, if somebody asks me, hey, you want to sit down and drink a beer? I have no problem with that. What do you mean? What kind of beer? Like, it ain't Budweiser. Not anymore anyway. So.
Beer will make you pee-pee all night.
Oh, man, I got to leave that alone. I'm getting so much trouble over that. Yeah. Actually, the thing with the Budweiser thing about that doesn't even bother me. The one that bothers me the most is the Nike bra thing. That just drives me crazy. And we're not going to talk about it tonight, but y'all can look it up.
The Nike what thing?
Nike hired a transvestite to sell women's bras and women's leggings. Ladies around the country, not just the country, around the world, are losing their mind. I was like, well, I don't wear none of that stuff. It's hard. I mean, some of this stuff is just stupid, and some of the stuff I can see the point, but I don't know if it really matters. A good friend of mine says, "Well, I'm not going to keep drinking Budweiser." I said, "It's not Budweiser, it's Bud Light anyway." He said, "Really?" I was like, "Yeah." I said, which is their number one selling beer. But I heard Carl Weston or Carl Rogers the other day. Actually, he was on some crazy ass conservative show I was listening to, and he got to talking about how much their sales are down. Yeah, it's hurt their company. Well, you got to think about things when you're doing, people. I don't know, y'all do, because I'm media. I can say whatever the hell I want, but y'all can't. Everyday people can't say everything they want because you'll get in trouble.
Well, yeah, when you insult 50% of the people, with this cancel thing and Budweiser and all this other thing, and you got 50% of the people. That's
I get paid to insult everybody, right? That's my job. I get paid to insult everybody. Oh, okay. Especially if they're in politics. Oh yeah, especially if they're in politics. Yeah. See, I'm real lucky because I get to go hang out with all these nice authors.
Yeah, you don't insult.
So I get to relax. I get to relax and refresh my brain on actually something other than insanity. So it's just kind of nice. No, you can go to Tom Wood's Fantasy Art and they're for sale right there. I mean, I don't know if he's got them for sale anywhere else, but I know
they're not the originals, but you can go into the Tom Wood Fantasy Art and buy prints or canvases and that kind of stuff. But the originals aren't for sale.
Tom, I was going to ask you about your Disney World experience. That you worked there for a little bit. I saw in your bio.
No, but the company did reach out, and I did, a lot of different illustrations, and also even apparel designs that went into their all their theme parks.
Mhm.
Well,
Are there still some of your artwork that's there at the Disney World that people could see?
possibly. I mean, I have no
yeah,
idea.
they leave a lot
10
of
years
stuff up
ago.
for a long time. It's
But a lot of the stuff, especially when I was art director at Starter Sportswear, and I wasn't even commissioned directly from Disney on those pieces, but it was, but they would license out, Daffy, not Daffy, but Donald and Mickey, and I would illustrate them in football poses and stuff like that for the Dallas Cowboys or for whoever was,
Yeah.
for those markets. And then, of course, I'd have to send it back to Disney corporate, and they would have to approve it to make sure that it's stuck to the style that they were demanding. So, and once they approved it, then it just goes into production.
Yeah. For being 30 years old, you've been around a lot.
Yeah.
well, Stephanie, what you saying? He's 28. That's cool. Man, we'll go for that. We'll just keep going backwards till he's an egg again. I don't know, man. Oh no. Yeah, you did see that post that went up on TikTok. Yeah, so I did the TikTok thing, right? And I had my glasses off, and I just had this set was on my head. It said I was 36. I like to fell out the freaking. I'm nowhere close to 36 people. I said, I'll take it, but no, it's not really. You've seen me on cam. I mean, do I look 36 to you? No, I do not. 50, yeah. 36, no, I can't do that one. I'd like to lie to y'all and say, yeah, but no, it's not going to work. What's that, Janine? So Janine's got two questions for you. She wanted to know what is your favorite piece you've ever done, and which one's made you the most money?
Oh, okay. Well, I would say probably my favorite piece that I've ever done would probably be Mermaid Hunt. You had it up earlier.
Yeah.
And that was because when my daughter heard that the client was kind of wanting a mermaid piece, she was so excited. Of course, she was like 5 years old at the time. And she sketched out these 3 little thumbnails of mermaids. And I was, she was so excited about it. So when I started doing my illustration, I based the poses and the positioning of those mermaids off her sketch. And so she watched me go through the whole process. And so and even she had designed like the weapons they were holding and stuff like that. And even though I, changed some things here or there, I pretty much stuck as close as I could to, what her vision was as a child. And, it was so this.
Watch in 2 decades or so, she's going to be taking over, man.
That's right.
Be Dad, it's my turn now. Just telling you ahead of time.
But as far as I'd say the most commercially successful piece was probably the Phoenix, just because the Phoenix Rising piece, even though that piece I did the whole piece in a day. For some reason, Walmart put it in their stores. I mean, there's not a lot of detail in this piece, but for some reason it struck a chord, and Walmart had it in their poster bin for 2 years straight and sold millions of them. And so that was, probably my
because it looked good. It was what was it on a black back, and if I can remember right, it looked good on the wall. Yeah, and I know a lot of people were purple lighting it and stuff, and it's that's what y'all want to do. Think about it, guys. You want to draw up. I've learned this from talking to a lot of different artists over the year. Sometimes you got an idea, something that might take off, but a lot of time artists just don't know which one is going to be the one that does it for them. It's
right.
the same thing with movies or television or anything else for that matter, radio. You just never know what's going to be the one. You think, oh, it's this one, and it turns out it's going to be this one. As long as it works.
It has to do with a little bit of luck too, just because this piece it came along at the right time. The buyer put it in Walmart where it had more exposure. I mean, there's definitely better pieces than this one in my library of work, but this one just was at the right place at the right time, and it got the exposure it needed, and it kind of took off. So
it's funny.
At this picture, it looks like fire. Is that what you kind of try to put into that? I guess it looks like he's in blazes.
Right. Well, I mean, it's a phoenix, so that's kind of as far as the mythology of the phoenix goes. But I definitely didn't stick with more of the peacock look to it. I wanted to make it a little more aggressive, more of a flaming eagle or a fire eagle. So, but it was based on the phoenix.
It sure lights up.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You know, it's funny. Just about 3 weeks ago, I was having lunch with some friends of mine at Ruth's Chris, and we were talking about it. I said, well, I'm be in LA. And they said, what you doing? So I got to tell him about this piece right here because I already knew about it. And he's like, you know, the guy who did that? He said, Joe, you know, I still had the first poster I ever bought of that thing. And then Chris goes, he said, you know, I think I still have mine in the attic somewhere. I'm like, what? So at this table, there was 5 of us having dinner. 4 of us actually had owned this picture at one time or another.
Holy cow.
I was like, wow, that was impressive in itself because, you know, it's all different personalities. All 4 of us are vastly different personalities. And I was impressed and kind of stunned at the same time. I was like, damn. I said, Joe, I said, well, I see why you made that money on that. I like this one too. The tiger one is pretty.
Yeah, it's okay. But, you know, that was pretty much, it was kind of like once the Phoenix hit, then there was, Trends made a ton of money off of it, and they kept requesting,
Oh, I bet you they
do another
did.
fire piece because we made a lot of money off it. Not because I was inspired to do another fire piece, just because
It's because they making
you know,
money off
they
it.
thought
Yeah.
it could be a payday. So yeah, and this is one of my favorite pieces. This was if you go down, yeah, let's go back down. A little
Yeah, let
bit.
me go back. Yeah, hold
Yeah,
on a
go
second.
back.
All right, here we
Zombie
go.
Scraps was one of my
Oh, this one right
was
here.
one of my
Yes.
favorite. I wish I had some better resolution shots. This is I have to keep them this size so people don't steal them.
Well, I can understand that because people just right click and copy.
Right.
And
But there's a ton of detail on this zombie, even down to the bow flies. That's all over him. I really wanted to sort of portray how hot it is this day, and the flies are on him, and his skin is kind of boiling up, and all this detail and texture is on this guy that I spent.
well, I got
well
the
over-
last video we did set up the way they can't copy them off the video. And,
Right.
Well, because I honestly I love all you people, but I don't trust none of y'all as far as I can throw y'all. And, I mean, well, it's easy to make money off of other people's stuff because people, and I know y'all get mad about this, but some of y'all just don't want to apply yourself. I mean, he didn't have to apply himself when he was young. He didn't have to do that piece. He didn't have to do any of these pieces. He could have went off and did a whole different life thing. I mean, this takes effort. I mean, this takes imagination and effort, and the kind of effort that means you have to stick through it and make it through it. I'm not saying he might not have crumpled a couple up along the way and said blah blah blank blank blank, but still, it takes effort. I couldn't do this. I couldn't even copy it. If I couldn't even trace the damn thing, it wouldn't look right.
Yeah.
I just don't have those kind of skills, unfortunately.
Right, yeah. Tom, now the copyrights, are they stronger than the musician's rights like BMI? Or the artwork is really strong with the copyrights? Because my publisher give me heck about putting in pictures in the book, and they were my pictures. But he said there's type of copyright rules for your own pictures. So they must be pretty tight. I mean,
yeah, I mean, a lot of artists, if you don't have a ton of money, it's hard to. You may not be able to afford to be able to copyright everything because it's usually around $100 if you want to put a copyright on there with the Library of Congress, and that's the way to do it. If you're worried about someone stealing it, then you got to get it copyrighted, and it takes about 6 to 8 weeks to come back with your copyright. But I found out that it could be worth it, and also you can even Trish, you might want to have heard about this, but you can copyright your entire library of work. Instead of doing one piece at a time, you could do all of them. This is my collection. I'm copyrighting it, and you could be protected. But back in the 90s, it was you just put a trademark on it and you would show usage, and then you were kind of safe. Not so much these days. So yeah, the copyright's the only way to do it now. Oh,
Well, no, I would say copyright anything. It's
Trish's her microphone's not on. Right. I think she
Okay.
muted.
Trish, what did you do? Let's go find you. No, she's on. It says it's on my end.
I don't hear her.
Are you off on your end? You must be off on your end because I see you on my end.
Nope, I
Yeah.
don't hear nothing.
I hear nothing.
I know read lips anymore.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah,
We got you now. There we go.
Okay.
There we go.
Okay. I was gonna say, even with I've done that with photos on my photography portfolios where it's an entire I've copyrighted an entire album and things like that. But I know even if they're copyrighted, especially artwork, a person could copy like this picture, for example, and that's one of the big discrepancies now with art is they could copy that entire picture and say change the moon to green, and it wouldn't be a copyright infringement. unfortunately, and that's my problem with these copyright laws. I'm like, it's still your work,
Right.
Well,
to
there's a good
the
faith
next
thing in
person to just
copyrights
be able
too.
to change one thing and call it theirs is absolute bullshit to me.
Yes.
That's
You're right.
I
You're
hate
right.
that.
Well, you
And
can
it's the
do that
same
to
thing
an
that AI
extent
has
now,
been doing. AI is
but you can't
taking a
copyright
like
AI. You
no,
can't,
but AI will scan the internet for artists' work, change one thing about it, or put a few of them together and change something about it, and then it's all of a sudden it's a new piece of work that took AI 30 seconds to create, and it might have taken those artists,
Mm. I will
weeks
say
to
this about
however long.
AI. I am impressed with a lot of stuff, but I've had some friends recently playing with it. So a friend of mine, Jason, he asked it to make a dingo fighting a kangaroo. So he came up with a 5-legged dingo and a 3-legged kangaroo. He was ignorant. It was just ignorant. And I was looking at this thing going, okay, this might have been good for something like some I've been, mutated kind of thing or something. I just didn't do it. I like this dragon too. He looks badass.
Yeah.
I like the other one we seen a few minutes ago too, but this guy looks
That's
badass.
one that looks kind of like what's on TV. That the series on HBO. That's
Oh, I didn't even see these guys in the background. Damn.
Yeah.
Good thing I blew
Oh,
it
yeah.
up.
And I know it doesn't show well on StreamYard, obviously, but if you go on his website, the detail is absolutely amazing up
I can,
close.
yeah.
Obviously, all the textures and the skin.
Well,
Thank
remember, guys, you can blow if you're on regular TV or if you're on YouTube, you can blow these up full size. If you're on Roku, all you got to do is zoom in, which I love about Roku. So a lot of
Yeah.
people are watching us on 60 and 70-inch TVs tonight with a zoom.
But yeah, you can zoom in, but the pixels just aren't there.
Yeah, it
I mean,
gets
it's kind of
pixelated.
blurry in the smaller size. So, I mean, like I said before, instead of putting word marks over it, I hate doing that. I will just put a lower res
Yeah, I hate
version
that
on
shit,
there to
too.
keep them from being able to
Yeah.
do apparel designs with it and stuff like that. So, unfortunately.
Hey, that's my
Well-
Uncle Bob. What's he doing over here?
That happened a lot with photography.
Oh, is that like his cousin or something? Hey, Bob, what's
Yeah,
happening,
there you
man?
go.
What's going on?
Maybe Joe, you
Wow.
might know something about this with BMI and with the music industry and their copyright. They've gotten a little loose, just like Trish said a while ago. You change a couple of words, a line in the song, and then you can use the
Mhm.
song. Do you know much about that, Joe? I know you know a lot
Well,
about BMI.
it's weird when it comes to that kind of stuff. So a lot of our material is copyrighted, but the whole station's copyrighted. But it's weird. So it used to be if you didn't play the whole song, like 15 to 20 seconds,
Yeah.
it wasn't considered a breach. It is now. I don't know. It's not so much that the copyright itself changed, but the companies like YouTube and Vizon, a lot of them changed. They don't want to fight anymore about it, so they're having basically a no tolerance anymore. So if you don't own it, you have to change it significantly. It can't just be a little bit. It has to be enough that the original artist won't recognize it.
Right.
So you can take someone's story and go in there and fiddle with it until you get it to such a point that it's just not the original story anymore. Now you might save yourself some work because half that story is somebody else's, but if the other half is yours, then you can get away with it. Art is tough. I've seen a lot of artists get their money pretty easily. Something like this, you can't really change it. You can change the color, but it would still be Tom's art. There's a thing called good faith.
Right.
And if you do something in good faith, that's one thing. If you're doing it because you want to make money, if you want to take this man's artwork, let's say we change the color and we change the snout a little bit, it's still his work, and you're still going to be able to see it. When anybody with reasonable skills will know whose artwork it will.
Let me ask another crazy question for Tom and for Joe both. Now you're showing the artwork, Joe, of Tom. If Tom wasn't here, he wasn't a guest, and he didn't give you permission to show this art, could you show it?
I wouldn't be shown. I would actually say I don't do things like that. I would actually write to Tom saying, "Can I use your work for whatever?"
You could, but yeah, you can legally show it. Really, Dave, the issue comes in when they take your artwork and they start selling it to profit. And as far as anybody that wants to come look at the artwork or download it to use on their desktop or for a phone, for the screensaver on their phone, or use it as reference for a tattoo, which lots of them do.
Mm-hmm.
I have no problems with that. More power to you, and I'm honored that you would think that much of my artwork. But when some more of the unscrupulous people come along and they want to start downloading stuff and putting it on shirts and selling it for a profit, and not without even
Mhm.
contacting me. That's
Yes.
usually when I get
Yeah, that I would
Yeah.
get pissed
I
about
get
that
my-
myself.
Yeah.
temper up.
Well, yeah, because I mean,
That's
here you
another
are.
thing. Like with having a studio, I used to get pissed off about too. Is people would come through and say, "Oh, when I right in front of me, like while I was there," and they would take pictures of my artwork and say, "Oh, I'm gonna do this. I can do that. I can. What mediums did you use? Yeah, that's a good idea." I'm like, really, oh, really. Like, you just
Wait, Ryan, you want to wait, Ryan? Did I just read this correctly? Did you just say you want to pose nude for time? I don't think he's going
Oh,
to do
word.
Who?
that. Are you? Have you been drinking a Bud Light tonight?
Uh-uh.
I'm just asking. So this guy, I know this guy, Ryan. He's bigger than I am. He's a big, ugly guy. You would. We're not even going to talk about this. No, you would scare off. No, we just don't. We're not even going there. I mean, some things just don't work talking about. Now, see, people like this, yeah, he'll do these kind of people. But no, not you. You just. I guess maybe you paid him a lot of money.
Yeah.
And he
Yeah,
had
money talk.
blinders on. Yeah, that might change things. Dude, you couldn't pay me enough money. I'm just being honest.
Why would Joe? Why would he want to do that? Did he tell you why?
No, because
He's
he
just
said,
kidding around.
yeah, he's just jerking around. He said,
okay.
he said, I would like to. No, oh, you want to give it to your wife? I know your wife. She's just not going to see your ugly ass hanging around anyway naked. She barely want to see you naked as it is, my friend. Let's just be honest about it. Yeah, some of us are scary. We shouldn't be seen naked. I'm just saying. That's just no. Tom's good looking guy. That's a whole different thing. You not. I mean, it's just let's just not go there. Yes, I can say that. Yes, I can say it. No, nobody can fire me. I can say it all I want. This is a great piece too. This one looks very familiar to me, but I'm going to skip on.
Yeah, this was on the cover of this commission piece that was called Chicks and Chainmail. As you can tell, a lot of the book covers, they have this open area at the top, sort of left for the title treatment for whatever book cover it is. But yeah, this was a character that was battling zombies and I can't remember which book it was, but there's a series of Chicks and Chainmail that come out over the years, and this was one of their
She was a live model also, right, Tom?
Yeah, she was. Yep, she was.
And that's what Lynn said too. Yeah, I know. Well, that's
Darn
better than
luck,
looking at
Joe.
it's better than looking at what's his face. Is all I got to tell you. Just be honest about it, man. But wait, I love this guy too, man. I hate clowns.
This was of course, when I started doing the stuff for Insane Clown Posse, they didn't want me to license. I couldn't license their stuff and sell it as posters, but I had a pretty good sized following of ICP fans that just loved scary clowns. So I started doing, my own scary clowns. It really wasn't based off of their Jokers or any of their face paint style. And then, actually, I just released like 8 new clown paintings to card.com. That's going to be coming out with them on credit cards here pretty soon. So I'm excited to see that. And also, I did 6 new masks for Spirit Halloween that'll be coming out in 2024.
What's that, Helen? You could write to him and ask him if you wanted to commission a terror deck, but you'd have to tell him what you wanted and all of that. I tell you that now, and it ain't gonna be cheap, my friend. Hey, I'm just being honest with you. You can't be cheaping on my buddy. I'll be pissed about it. It's no, because everybody works too hard, And today's world is a lot different than it used to be. Everything's 5 times as expensive as it used to be. And time is money.
Yeah. When I was a kid, I wasn't afraid of Bozo the Clown, but this thing here, it scares me.
Yeah, he's supposed to be scary. That's kind of the.
That's the genre. I mean, he looks like with his little glowing eyes and his little sharpie teeth. I still want to twerk his nose, though. I can't help myself. I'd lose a hand probably, but I still have to do it. So it just tells you
is that one of them drugstore noses?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
It looks good, though.
It does. It's
what's
scary.
this we got here?
Yeah, this is another piece that, once I started it, I had, I had the whole thing sort of mapped out in my head, and then I started doing like the scale patterns, and I'm sure Trish has done this too. It sounds like a great idea until you start, I'm going to put this kind of webbing in the wing, and then 4 hours later, you're still on just the top section of wing, and you're like, oh my God, now I got to carry this through. the rest of the piece, and it's just going to take an eternity. But when I was done, it was well worth it. It's one of my favorite dragon pieces.
Yeah, that's
I would
a
say
great
my
deal.
favorite dragon piece is probably
A
the
lot
one
of
that I
motion.
did for a Galaxy Press this year.
Yeah, this has got a ton of detail in it.
Yeah, a lot of
Even at
motion.
low res, you can see a ton of. Well, yeah, I've been blowing them up, people, but still, there's a ton. I mean, you can see all the scale work, all through. Man, it's everywhere.
Yeah, I see motion in it too, Tom. But have you ever done animation?
I've not done animation just because it seems like you have to do so many frames to get it to move,
Yep.
and they're all new drawings except for the background. If you watch enough cartoons, you could see how they're doing more of a static piece in the background, and then just the characters will move or just their mouths will move, so they don't have to do so many different frames. But I've never really thought about doing animation. I always wanted to do the covers. Just like when I was a kid, I wanted to do Savage Sword of Conan because Joe Jusko, who's one of my favorite painters, would do the covers for those. And I didn't want to do the panels of comic books. It just seemed tedious. I just wanted to do the main cover because that's, you could really just focus on it, put everything you had into it, and be done. Any piece that takes me over a week to do, I started getting kind of tired of it.
Yeah.
Wait, this is yours?
Yeah.
Oh, that's why I was asking
Shit, I've used
how
this piece
much.
before.
Yeah, this was in Walmart forever too.
Oh man, I've actually used this piece
Wow.
in a banner. I didn't when it first popped up. No, y'all can see. You can go and contact him on the site, but I mean, you can see the prices on some of them. I mean, they're easy to get. How long to get them to deliver, Tom? Well, it's not the holidays.
Usually
people.
within 3 or 4 days.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. No, we're not in the holidays. What holiday? We just passed Easter. 4th of July is 2 months away. Calm down.
Do you do any of the print on demand?
Yeah,
Have you ever tried that?
That site that Joe was on earlier was kind of a print on demand, but they were making the pieces way too expensive, and they were keeping way too much of the money. So I was like, I can do this myself because you can go to there's all these different services that do custom canvases, and you just take the orders on. Build your own website. It's a lot cheaper to do it yourself and put it on Shopify and then just fulfill it yourself. It literally takes a few minutes to take the artwork that's already on your computer, already customized to different sizes, and then upload them to a canvas service, and they produce the canvas and send it out for a fraction of the cost. So
yeah, they need to, because I know when I originally started selling stuff on the sites, I think I was using Cafe Press. They were outrageous.
Yes.
I mean, one T-shirt was like $20, and I think you got 4 out of it. I was like, no, this just. I said, I'm not giving away all this stuff for free. Y'all can forget it. Because first off, there was like 16 different artists that worked with us to get all this stuff out, and all these different things on the sites, and I was like, no, this got to go. And then some of my wife's artwork was up there, which is very weird in my family. I have all the women in my family are very talented artists, and none of them went into the field. Matter of fact, my middle daughter, they begged her to get into the field. She won some contest, and she's like, this ain't what I want to do. I want to be an apartment manager. I was like, oh. And she's a damn good one too, one of the top leasing agents in the area, but that's what she wanted to do.
What you're passionate about.
I think in some cases, because they're all really talented, but I tell them that, they just look at me like I'm stupid. I'm like, okay, well, whatever. I said, y'all do know I've been hanging out with artists the last few years. You should take my word. No, I ain't gonna argue with y'all. I'm losing this argument. See, this picture here is when I haven't had my coffee in the morning.
Oh, okay, yeah.
That's what that's about. What that's about.
Tom, you're so good of an artist. Has Hollywood ever come knocking on your door?
When I did this book called Hellfire Plague of Dragons in 2009, and it was of course I was really excited about it. I wrote the story along with Robert Weinberg, who's no longer with us, but he was a really talented writer. I came up with a story in just a couple of days after watching a History Channel about the Black Plague years of 1348 to 1352. Which was right at the end of one of the Crusades. And I came up with this great story, and or at least I thought it was great, and then did all the artwork for it and did all the dragon illustrations for it. And then my agent got into negotiations with the movie rights for the book. And then they wanted to pay this much, and he wanted a lot more than what they wanted to pay, and then it just kind of died on the table. And that's really all my Hollywood experience was.
That happens a lot too.
Yeah, he's no longer my agent, by the way.
I don't blame you for that. This kind of reminds me of the Little Shop of Horrors.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it does.
Yeah, she does.
And,
Now, this is one of the ICP Joker's pieces. In fact, it was their last one. Every few years they release a new Joker card, and this one was based off of a plant that was, beautiful on the outside and hideous and twisted and evil on the inside. So this was her first form. You can see and most people could tell by the splitting of the front of her, porcelain masked geisha looking face that something's probably sinister is, right behind his teeth.
Yeah,
something's lurking, baby.
Yeah.
These are actually woven blankets. These are even poor resolution the paintings that you were looking at earlier.
I'm just popping through.
That's
here
cool. I like
this-
that one.
Yeah,
I
treats.
He's got the good
you
stuff.
don't have any Fago. Is that what it's called? Is it Fago?
It is, and
Is that what
I'm
you say?
so impressed that you even know that, Trish.
Oh my god.
Why do you think I
One of
bring Steve
my
Law with
very
me?
dear friends and old roommate, she was obsessed with ICP. Now, I mean, this was back when we were in college, like 20 years ago in college, but she went to like the Gathering of the Juggalos, and yes, it was.
Yeah, I go to that every year. Every year. In fact,
But I just remember the Fago, like the Jew. Is it a Jewish soda brand?
I don't
believe.
know.
Yeah,
named
it is. It is a
Fago.
soda.
Like they
yeah.
have.
Yeah.
it is a soda,
Yeah,
but I didn't know it
they-
was Jewish. But
Yes,
not that
it's-
that
it's-
matters.
I don't know any of
I
this.
know
I'm just lost.
Like that was the whole. So, but yes, they used to have Fago. But I'm surprised you don't have any Fago.
you know,
If you look
somebody.
at some of the paintings, there is Fago. If you look at one of my paintings
Is
of
there?
Violent J, he's opening a bottle of Fago and it's spraying everywhere.
So you see this face you got right here, right?
Uh-huh.
I think Star Trek ripped you off.
How so?
So in Picard this season, I shouldn't talk about this too much. I'll be giving away stuff. But anyway, in Picard this season, they got a changeling in it, and she cuts off her hand to talk to this thing. Well, it comes up as a face that looks almost just like this. It isn't orange, but it's white and red, but it's almost the same face. But you have to go check it out. Maybe I'm just seeing things, but it's really, really close. When I saw it, I was like, man, I've seen this somewhere. And then I got to thinking about it, and that's where I saw it on this season Star Trek, the last not the last episode, but I think the 2 or 3 before that's in there.
Dang.
And I was like, damn, now I'm gonna have to sue Star Trek for time.
Yeah, that one cat up there in the upper right, he kind of looks like Vincent Price a little bit, doesn't he?
There's some great stuff in here though, man. There
Yeah.
really is.
It
Well,
kinda
guys, we only got
reminds
10 minutes. I can't keep time all night. I made him
Okay.
stay an extra half hour with us,
me-
but
Okay.
it's we got to let him get out. He got a life and a boss lady, just like we all do. So
Okay.
why are these more? You'd have to ask Tom. I don't know.
Oh, they're blankets. They're huge, 6'8" or 6'8" woven blankets.
Oh, that's why. Okay.
Oh yeah, they're not like little 8.5, 8x10 glossy, giclée prints. They're
That's
big
cheap for a blanket,
blankets.
people. Last night's blanket I bought cost way more than that, so we're not even going there. It's well, what's funny is, real quick, I know we got time. So my wife bought this quilt this really nice quilt one day, and then all of a sudden for the next 10 years she started weaving. She would draw all this stuff out, and then she'd put it onto her blankets. I'm like, so we had this quilt that it had, I don't know, 250 different pictures that she had drawn. No, Janine, you can go to alienenigma.org. Her work's there. A bunch of it is, yeah.
Cool.
She's got a lot of it up there. And she's done it in all kinds. She used to like to sketch and pencil, but she's a pretty good painter. And then she got into putting stuff on glass. I was like, damn. And which she always thought it sucked. I'm like, baby, it's fabulous. You should be selling this stuff. No. I always want to slap her. Whap. But what can you do? She the boss. I'm just a peon here, so. Okay, this guy looks like he's high too, by the way. With his little snake tongue coming out of there. I'm just kidding, Denise. Calm down. And why we got so many girls
That
in here
reminds
tonight?
me
And
of
hardly any
Intake
guys.
Composting. I went
Boy,
to
they-
see. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I was going to say, boy, those guests really jump all over you, Joe. What's going on tonight?
Guys, I got a group. Let's call it my own personal weirdos. So about 20 years ago, 25 years ago, we used to have this chat group on Yahoo. And then Yahoo got to the where it was just ridiculous. So we moved to Fire Chat, and then they were stupid. So we moved to Pal Talk, where we had complete control of the rooms. Within no time at all, we had 200, 300, 400 regular followers. Well, I don't really use it anymore. So the only way they can get me private, if they don't want to go on one of their chats, is through my Messenger, because they're all on my Messenger. And sometimes they'll make groups on there and get together, and then sometimes they just spam me all night doing a show. But it's a good thing. I mean, these are all people, if we had a phone line, that would be calling into the show harassing us. In a good way. They ask really tough questions sometimes, and they get really personal sometimes too, which is all fine. Hey, maybe we should give this one to what's his name? Oh man, what's his damn name? He's the guy who wrote the Caribbean thing. One of the judges. Man, my brain is just turning to mush. I swear. What is his name? We were just getting him on as a guest pretty soon too.
Was it Kevin Anderson?
Not Kevin. No, it's was teaching with. Oh Jesus! Just because I want to think about this, my brain's gonna go. What is his damn name? He's the guy. He's like one of him and the black-headed lady are like the main teachers for the authors.
Ponytail.
I can't. It'll come to me sooner or later. He's always got a Coke can. He's always got a Coke can in his hand. He's worse than me about that stuff.
Huh. Yeah, I can't imagine.
Anyway, it'll come to me sooner or later. But he's got he wrote one of the Caribbean. So, and you mean, that's he lives in Las Vegas. That's her son. See, my brain is gone tonight. See, it's what happens when I work all day and do 2 other jobs and then come in and do radio. Well, because my brain's not on what it's supposed to be on. No, and no. Oh wait, yeah, he did. Actually, I'm wrong. I seen it because I was gonna get on his ass about bringing me a hat when he came. I seen it somewhere just a little while ago. Where was it? Where you got? There it is, right there.
Oh yeah, this is mine. I want
this shirt and this hat.
Yes,
she's gonna make me buy this. I can tell. I want this shirt and this hat.
I'll get you hooked up, Joe. I'll bring it to LA. I'm gonna give you one.
I'll tell you what. I'll definitely wear it on air. John was surprised the other night when we were doing a show. I had Writers of the Future T-shirt on. Janine, I do wear it. Okay, it's rare that I don't wear a tie. That's true, but I do sometimes wear T-shirts and a hat when I'm doing radio. It depends on who I'm talking to. Look, I'm comfortable with Tom. He's a good guy. He's who he is. That's why I like him. No, he don't. As far as I know, he don't put any airs. I can't tell you when he's home, what he's doing, but the 3 times I've met him, he's exactly who he is. That's why I like him. You ask him a question, he tells you. He answers. If he can't, he'd be looking at you like, well, you dumbass, don't ask me that again. No, I'm just kidding. That's not true. That's not how he is.
Do that.
I know he would never do that. He's really, this whole group is so nice. It's scary sometimes. It really is. But he's a very talented artist. He's a gentleman when he's there. I know he is. He's a true gentleman when he's there. I've never seen him be rude to anybody. And like I said, maybe he goes in his room and screams or something. But when he's most of the people, I'm not gonna say everybody. There are some dumb questions. I've heard a few, but I know when I was young, I was told there's no such thing as a dumb question. They were lying. Okay, I just want y'all to know that there is a such thing as a dumb question. Trust me, I've heard many over the years. But no, he's very polite. He's just a nice guy. I can even tell you. Well, no, I'm not going to tell you that because that's none of y'all's business. But I can tell you on even under other circumstances, he's a nice guy. How's that? That's as much as I can say. Hey, look, some things are secret, people. All I can tell you is you win, you'll find out. No, that's not true either because you won't get to come with us.
That's a great sideline there, Tom, with your merchandise. That's really cool.
I love that. Yeah, that looks great.
Joe, if you wouldn't mind pulling up a website, go to tomwoodfloat.com.
Tomwoodfloat.com. Let me go find another.
This is a pretty interesting story because in 2020, everything was locked down all over the country. The gathering had been canceled, and I had, everybody was just sort of after so many months of lockdown, everyone would just wanted to get out. And of course, in Arkansas, it's total anarchy here, and we don't pay attention to any laws that we don't want to follow. So I invited everybody to come float Spring River with me, which I grew up on, and so I established the float in 2020 2020, and I had like 50 people juggalos show up, and we floated the river, we camped, we did some gaming, and had a few impromptu music events that happened there. And then it's just every year since then, it's just doubled or tripled. And now it's this big event that where, Shaggy Tudo from ICP performs. And I've got probably, 40 bands playing at this point. And we've got events like canoe races and floats and of course you just have to go through it, but it's just a great time. It happens Labor Day weekend.
Well, I'm about to come check this out, man. Look at this.
This is the best time that you'll have all summer. I mean, these people are all sweethearts. They I've met some of my best friends at this event. We all get on the river at the same time at my family-owned campground. So it's all private property. You go in there, nobody's gonna mess with you, and you can just have a great time. We all float the river at the same time together. Just a big group of us, and it's just a great time.
It's I used to do a lot of pirogue and a lot of canoeing when I was younger. We used to go to a place called Tickfall and just spend 2 days down there. It was so far back in the woods, nobody was going to bother you. They didn't care. You could do anything you wanted back there. Some guy drowned, some guy got shot, and cops still didn't come out. They didn't care. I mean, really, literally, it's way deep in the bayou, so things like that. People don't care. It's these are great. These are all the artists there, huh?
Yeah, these are all the artists that's been announced so far. There's another probably 20 that's still to be announced on July 14th.
Oh, I recognize some of these people. Oh yeah, looky.
Yeah.
But yeah, these are all underground acts, mostly underground rappers, and that's big in the Juggalo community, and they're all real excited, and some of them have been there before at the float, but we've got some new ones coming in this year that we're all excited to see, like Super Famous Fun Time Guys and Kung Fu Vampire, Light, Green Jello. All these acts are new, so we try to keep it fresh every year and bring in some new stuff. But I work with Joey Shaggy Tudo on so many projects, and he's came out here and did several podcasts himself just from my farm. So I've got a really good relationship with him and his wonderful family. And, he comes and he's done the float the last 2 years in a row. Yeah. Scroll down through there.
I'm going through. I was actually reading. That's why I was waiting.
It kind of reminds me of the Ozarks inner tube floating,
Yeah.
Well, I ain't been to Ozarks in a while. Last time I was there, I was doing lectures. People like drove me to drown. They did drive me to drink, I should say. It's I hadn't had a drink in 3 years. I'm sitting there and I'm like, okay. The guy said something. He comes out with some high dollar whiskey. He said, "You're looking like you're aggravated." I said, "I'm not aggravated. I'm just tired of hearing all the idiots." He said, "Come with me." And we had a couple of shots. I said, "Oh yeah, I can go back and deal with the idiots now." And that's not true. Most of the people were really, really nice. I had just been on I think I'd been 7 or 8 lectures in 5 weeks, and a lot of a lot of flying, a lot of traveling. Hadn't been home in 2 months. Just when I get on the road, like right now this year, I'm being on the road a lot. I'm leaving for LA in 7 or 8 days, and then when I get back, I'm leaving to go to Buffalo. They're doing a documentary on me in Buffalo, so I'll be up there for about.
Oh, that sounds awesome.
And then I'm headed up to Niagara Falls. Yeah, Buffalo colleges, which amazed me. Then I'm headed up to Niagara Falls to meet my station manager, Michelle DeRocha, and do some hypnosis work. And then I'm coming home for 2 weeks, and then I'm off to DC for a week, maybe 2, depending on what goes on. Then I'm home for two weeks again. Then I'm off to Chicago for a week.
Joe, what are your topics of your lectures?
Oh, it depends. I get asked. So sometimes I get to lecture at schools. Usually that's going to be on politics. Sometimes I get asked to speak at colleges on the paranormal stuff that we do. And then I get to get invited to a lot of different conferences. So I usually get to speak at the Washington Press Club every year. And it's going to be a twofold lecture. The first lecture is going to be on ufology. The second lecture is going to be on politics. And it's always standing room only when I do them. I'm real lucky for that because when I sit down and when I'm really doing something that's going to be packed full of information, it's that kind of stuff that most of the time your jaw's on the floor the whole lecture. So, and then I'm one of the few that will stop and give them 45 minutes of Q&A. I'll sit down. I'll actually sit down on the stage and let them. Matter of fact, last time I was in Arkansas, I was in whatchamacallit Springs.
Hot
And
Springs.
Yeah, it's in Hot Springs, yeah, and which is an interesting place because occasionally I'll notice you can get free mineral water there if you bring your own jugs, and a lot of the little places where the mineral water comes is actually labeled with what's in the water. I found that just kind of weird. There are freaking crystals everywhere. One of the couples I was with, their whole entire front yard was just these big crystals, and it was
Where's
it was
that?
interesting. It's Hot Springs, Arkansas. And it's a
Oh,
great place. Everybody was very friendly. I had a good time.
Eureka Springs.
The only bad time I've ever had in Arkansas was in Little Rock, and that was just because we were young and out of the Navy and drunk. It had nothing to do with Arkansas itself. It just had to do with 25 military guys that were so drunk they couldn't find their ass with both hands. And
I remember those days.
so that kind of stuff happens, but oh no. Well, guys, I don't know. You got to go get a ticket and come visit.
Yeah.
Tom looked like he's got the shit going on up
Yeah,
here,
it's,
man.
it's a big time.
I could get
Yeah,
that's
this-
close to me. That's like an 8 hour. Not even. That's a close drive.
He might be the new Burning Man.
You never know.
I'm
At the rate it's
serious,
growing,
man.
it
It looks like
turn
it
into
is. Well, people looking for some wholesome fun and wholesome mostly, but fun. Well, people, there got to be some booze along the line. And no, Denise, I hate to say it, but marijuana is legal in Arkansas. I don't want to be the one that breaks your heart, but it's actually legal there. I'm pretty sure it's medical, but it's legal there.
Tom, how
It's,
far away are you from digging your own diamonds at the park?
About 2 hours away.
Really?
Yeah, there's a diamond field or diamond mine,
Yeah.
a little north of Little Rock, and I'm about 2 hours above that. Oh yeah, there's the.
And
float
this is a
itself.
great time of year to do this. I mean, the weather's still decent.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not so hot. It's cooled down a little bit, so it's the weather's perfect. Usually we got a little rain last year, but
Yeah, what's a little
That's
rain?
pretty
You're in
rare.
the water anyway, so what's a little rain?
I don't know. If I see a clown on a float trip, I have PTSD over Stephen King's It from
Oh
like
yeah,
the
we
80s or
can't
something.
let no abductees go there. They'll be shooting people. you need to put a
I-
warning on the
I
thing,
might be
no.
triggered.
No abductees allowed. This is the whole trip. Okay, wait. All right, here we go.
yeah, that's a map of the campground, and where all the different tents are
Okay,
going to
that's how
be,
you
and the
get in
different
there,
parts of the
okay.
venue. So yeah, this is just for the guests to be able to get in and figure out where they want to camp at.
Oh, see, they even got a key up here. Look at how nice
Yeah,
that is.
that is nice. That's nice.
Yeah, see, that's the other kind of artwork I do.
Yeah.
Yes, well, that kind of artwork counts too, though.
Right, yeah.
All of that makes a difference. Make it easy to find your way around. Well, it's always good to
Yeah.
have a good little map where you're going and what you're looking at. Well, what we got going over here, man? These people look like they're
Yeah, the
having a good
schedule's
time.
still coming. Schedule's still coming.
Oh, okay, that's coming. Okay,
Yeah, but you
I
can
just
go,
looking.
if you went to I think there's a link that's got a gallery, and you can like see all the different, just like chronology of all the
Oh,
events they won.
All right, over here to the left, guy. You need to cover that belly up. I mean, just saying, you scared me.
Wow, that's cool. Do they need a photographer?
The more
I
photographers, the
know.
better.
So I guess the older
I
guys can
did
wear
it
these bikinis.
ironically.
Yeah.
What's
They
that?
look like they're having a good time to me.
Yeah. The
Yeah,
older
we
guys
have-
are wearing bikinis.
We have a huge time. Oh, there's maids driving around being the boss.
I don't know. It looks good, guys. They look like they're
Yeah.
having fun to me. Hey, this may become the new one. There's been a lot of this stuff in the United States. People have been trying to get people involved. And that is, people forget that's how Burning Man started. First Burning Man was like 15 people.
Right.
And then I think the second one wasn't much more, about 35. So now I got a friend who goes every year, one of my ex-directors, Chires. She's there last year running around in some kind of fur thing with her legs hanging. I was like, Chires, she said, Jesus, Joe, there were so many people there. She said there's so many fires going, you had to leave the area just to cool off. I was like, damn.
That's right.
Tom, do you have
It's-
food there? Is there barbecue there?
Yeah, there's barbecue, and we've got several food trucks. Of course, licensed with the state to be able to vend food. So that's usually where the food comes from. Of course, you could bring your own
Is this Trish?
as well.
Oh, okay, no.
That's Mankini right there. That's one of my friends. He's a sort of a juggalo entertainer. He's not He's not gay. He just wears the bikini for, you know.
Hey, that's he's
Not-
having fun.
I
Yeah,
guess,
hey,
you know.
look, he's having fun.
Yeah. He's quite the personality.
I love covering music festivals like that, because it actually last year on this day, on April 15th, I did the 420 Festival Music and Art Festival here in Topeka, and it was at this. It was called Truck Hinge, where this guy takes metal and old cars and everything, makes them into art. But they have a shooting range and like um, a lake and all kinds of things out there, and they had this 3-day music festival, and they started the bonfire with flamethrowers, and that's
Wow.
what with the dragon stuff. That's where I learned about that, actually, because they were calling it a dragon. You can actually see it in the picture, the way they with their metal sculptures and stuff, how they did that. But it was actually a year ago today that
That looks like the
they
boss sitting next to
had all the
Tom there.
fires.
Yeah, that's actually Uncle Bob in the side by side next to me there. He's the one that owns the campground. So yeah.
He must love all these people coming.
Oh, he loves it. There's my stage. Well, actually, we have 2 stages. That's one of them.
What do you mean, Helen? Is that your name? Oh, hello. I can't even pronounce it. Harissa? If we had a radio, I mean, if we were on air, you could. I don't know if children are welcome. You got to ask Tom. I haven't seen any.
Yeah,
so.
children are welcome. I mean, I wouldn't bring toddlers, but yeah, there's.
Let's bring your adult
this is
children.
Day
How's
one.
that?
This is all day one so far. You haven't even got to the concert for the night.
Oh, wow.
It started. Yeah, but yeah, there's we have music every night, and then during the day we get up and we float the river from 10 to about 5 or 6. It takes about 7 hours to float, and of course we go way upstream, or we bus way upstream. We float all the way down, get out of the river at camp, and then go get cleaned up, grab something to eat, and then the music starts.
That's the way to do it.
That's cool.
Matter of fact, the last trip I've been on like that wasn't quite like this. It was in Florida. They bring you up, and then it's like a 3-day trip, but they have cabins along the way.
Oh,
When you walk in, the cabin's full, got all food in there, everything you want, steak, booze, the whole 9 yards. It's a lot of fun, but this looks like this is more fun, actually.
Yeah.
Emily said Joe's going to be there in his CIA Speedo.
Oh, no. I don't know why everybody thinks I work. See, half the country thinks I work for the CIA. The other thinks I'm in charge of military abductions. I mean, come on, people. I am too poor to be in those positions. I'm just telling you.
Yeah, Emily's stuck on that one. But Tom, the artists even look like they're colorful. They got
they look like they're having fun too.
Yeah, I mean
they are. Yeah, they're some of the most interesting people I've ever met. And of course, I done work for Live Nation. I done work for Kiss and Aerosmith and a lot of these other bands. But when I started doing the work for ICP and they started inviting me to these events like The Gathering, I got to start meeting the Juggalos, which I was like Trish. I was kind of like, yeah, they're kind of scary looking. and I don't have any tattoos or piercings. I'm going to I'm going to show up and I'm going to get stabbed by about 5 or 6 people, and it's going to end quickly. Yeah. But once I met them, I'm like, these are just a bunch of sweet hippies. They're real nice and easygoing. They just love horror movies and they like rap. And but other than that, they're just some dope smoking hippies. And
was that a whiskey bottle a while ago, or a vodka bottle?
Yeah, that was, I think, a bottle of Jaeger. I had one of the artists that was going to be performing. He carries it around. It's kind of his signature thing.
Oh, okay.
And if he offers it to you, it's kind of rude not to take a swig at it. So
yeah, it is. And besides, booze kills COVID anyway, people.
Yeah, that's
It does. It does.
It's no, I'm serious, people. It does. Yeah, you don't take my word. Hey, man, we could be friends with that belly. Well, I'm actually losing mine now, but I've only managed to work about 12 pounds on it. It's
wow, it looks like
spank his ass, baby. Tell him to put up with that shit.
The older guys just look like they just let loose with everything. I guess there's no
good time.
Yeah,
I mean,
no inhibitions, I guess.
Well, from the way Tom says it's set up, I mean, you can. It seems like you can be comfortable.
Yeah, you can
enjoy your life.
You're accepted no matter what with this group.
Yeah,
it doesn't matter.
Great. It's really great.
What background you're from or how you look, because I mean, look at me. I'm pretty conservative looking. for the most part. And these people welcome me into their group with open arms.
It's funny because a friend of mine told me one time. He said, "You're always dressing nice. You look like this." He said, "And then I've seen you out." He said, Joe, when you're out, it does not fit who you are. I said, "Because I said, I'm from freaking New Orleans. What do you expect, man?" I said, I grew up, and I mean, when I was growing up, the city was 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. There's bars always open. There's booze flowing all over the place. I mean, shit, I started drinking when I was like 12. That's why I quit for so long. I said, "No, we need to take a break." Actually, Carolyn, I quit when my son was born for 10 years. Didn't have one drink. And because we were drinking so much and partying so much, I knew if I stayed in that slack, because I used to have a bad temper when people wake me up in the morning. I said, nope, it's better just to quit till my kid's older, and then it's different. And then because I quit for so long, I only drink occasionally now. Oh, I can drink, people. Don't ever mistake yourself about that, my friend.
Yeah, you let your liver. Let your liver rest. Yeah.
Yeah, I've never met many people drink the way I can. It's poor Chris found that out last year. Chris and the 3 boys from the UK. I don't think Tom was in yet, but I took the boys out to LA. There's 4 or 5 of us went out, and the 3 of the UK boys were like, "I gotta go. I can't take this." Chris was laughing his ass off, and because Chris is an Aussie, he said, "Well, they wimps." I said, "Nah, we drink a lot of booze, man. Plus, I had told people in the clubs that we were where everybody was from, so everybody was just filling a table up with booze all night long and other things which I can't mention on air. But it was insane, is what it was. I mean, they would just drink after drink after drink, and I'm just basically I come from a long line of alcoholics, and booze don't faze me like it does most people.
Me too. Yeah.
And so it's just one of them things. Let me take us out of there. Yeah, so we can see our lovely faces. Again, poor Tom's face ain't been on all night. That's because you women, I have to keep y'all at bay, man.
Right, just hide me behind the galaxypress.com banner.
No, we can't be doing that. But or is it banner down there? If it is, that thing's got to go. I got y'all on full screen, so I can't tell. Let me minimize the screen. Oh no, it's not okay.
Yeah. He was cut off about 50% there.
What, Emily? Are you in here with us? You should have just popped in, said hi to Tom. Have you ever met Tom before, Emily? Yeah, you came in because he's so cute. I know how you are. Don't even. I know how you are. It's
Which Emily is this?
We know you're looking for a new husband.
Which Emily is this, Joe?
This is Emily Mensah. She hosts with us.
Okay.
So Emily's the host of FT Frickin' guys. She's on Friday early, and she hosts with us from time. She hosts with us a lot on Friday nights. You couldn't sleep. You should have known that, girl. Yeah, that's not going to happen. Yeah, I'll let y'all get 3 more questions and then we out of here. So what is it? Helen, whatever your damn name is. No, he's not an author. He's an illustrator. Wait, why do you think he's an artist? I mean, have you been even listening tonight? I mean, come on. I mean, we've been showing artwork for an hour and a half. Okay.
He's not a movie star. He's an artist.
You need to go sit down and stop sipping whatever it is that you're sipping. That's what I'm looking for. That would be Michelle, Emily. She's a tycoon, an oil tycoon. Yeah, she didn't know that, did you? How do you think she got all that money to do what the hell she wants? I know. What can I say? She's one of them rich redheads. So anyway, let's see. Okay. You look like Salvatore, not Salvatore, Savere, like Amelia's daughter, but I'm pronouncing it wrong. So where are you calling from, or where are you writing in from? I should have been asking that all night. Where are you writing in from? Greece. Well, hello. What the frick time is it over there, man? It's gonna be like 6 in the morning.
Yeah.
So you're having breakfast listening to us? That sounds good to me. So what's your question for Tom? Oh, 2 questions. So I think you might answer this already, but I'll ask him again. So she wants to know when you actually started seriously knowing you wanted to do this for a living, and what was the one thing that made you know you wanted to be an artist?
Yeah, that's a great story. It was when I was actually 6 years old when I decided that I was going to be an artist for the rest of my life. And that was because in first grade, my first grade teacher, Miss Churchill, gave us this assignment to draw this undersea illustration after a story that she had read to us. And, when I did mine, I filled in the water and I had bubbles and seaweed and all this crazy detail in it. And where most of the kids were just like this little horseshoe drawing of water on top and a little figure 8 fish on there. And Miss Churchill was so enamored with it. She brought me up to the front of the class and made me show, the picture around. And everybody was like, "Oh, that's really cool." And but it wasn't enough for Miss Churchill, so she marched into the 2nd grade class and drugged me with her and stopped that class and made them look at the artwork, which my older brother was in 2nd grade at the time. So I was getting to do it in front of his class, and the 2nd graders were really impressed. And I told her then, I was like, I think I want to do this for a living. And after that, there was really no other options. It was just, I had already made up my mind what I wanted to do. So
that's freaking excellent right there. I wish I did that.
That's great. Yeah, great.
Mike, what do you want to know? Oh, Mike want to know, do you consider yourself a natural talent? I would consider him that, but I don't know how he considers himself.
At 6 years of age,
I think we all have a lot of talent. And if you're passionate enough about it to spend as many thousands of hours practicing it as I've practiced drawing, I think that everyone has the talent to do that. I don't think that there's any talent that just makes you, an instant success. I think you have to be able to work at it, unless you're someone like John Mayer that shows up and is successful on day one and is a millionaire the next. But for most of us,
Tom, did you have family members that were artists?
No, I have no family members that have any artistic talent that I know of.
That's about how my
I was going to ask, based on your story that you just told, what advice would you give aspiring artists looking to break into the industry, particularly those interested in the science fiction, fantasy type artwork?
What advice would I give them?
Mm-hmm.
I would say artists are not usually accustomed to promoting ourselves. We're not good at it. Most of us are pretty humble.
Right.
And so if you've got a decent, put together your best portfolio. And if a lot of people are telling you it's good, it probably is pretty good.
Just don't ask your parents. I'm sorry.
Yeah, don't ask your parents. Don't ask your best friends. But if you are good, if you think that you have what it takes, then find an agent, somebody that's going to go out and promote your stuff without you being there, and they'll find you clients, or they'll find you licensing deals. And it's just, if you're lucky enough and the timing's right, you might make a decent living at it if you're lucky. I mean, I don't know of many artists that have gotten extremely wealthy. Even Frank was, the greatest fantasy artist in the world. He wasn't a super wealthy man at the end. So, we're not in it to get super rich. We're just in it because that's what we love to do. And if you love what you do, you really don't work a day in your life. So, or you don't. I don't consider it work. It's all for the love of doing what I want to do.
That's why I do radio. Somebody asked me one time, they said, "Well, you got a successful construction company. Why do you do radio?" I said, "Because I really like it." And to be honest with you, this was never meant to make money. It was never designed for that. And then a friend of mine, one of my old station managers, Stephanie Benetti, said, "Well, you can still have fun and make money, Joe." I said, "Well, yeah, but I don't have to." She said, "I'll take over." And then she did a pretty good job of getting the station mostly there. And now Michelle's getting it the rest of the way, but it should be pretty profitable by the end of next year. So that's a plus. It was, and actually until COVID hit, it was making good money. It's clearing about 10, 15 grand a month easy after everything was paid off. And then COVID managed to put 3 of our advertisers out of business. Dynamo, which was great for selling ads. They had, what they had done they had a 2-year projection on this, how much money we were going to spend, because this is what the projection had been. Well, when COVID hit, everything went up 33%. I mean, the listener volume just went up through the roof. And then they didn't have that kind of money. They weren't expecting that kind of an increase in list. Nobody was, because nobody was going anywhere. Everybody was at home. And everybody had gotten tired of watching TV. So they done turned on the podcast, where you at least can get some emotion going and get fired up. No, guys, we got to go. I've kept him way too long. The boss lady, I'm surprised she didn't come and smacked him in the head by now. I'm just kidding. I met his wife last year. She is, she's very nice, is all I can say. Well, I don't know her. I can't say any more than that. All I can say is she's very nice. Yes, that's all I can say. And that's it. Who? No, we already talked about AI earlier. Laurel, is that how you say your name, Laurel? Oh, you want to know about the float? So it was TimewoodFloat.com.
Yeah, TimewoodFloat.com. And that's in Mammoth Spring, Arkansas. It's right in the middle of the country, so it's not far from, unless you're coming from Washington State or New England, it's not very far away.
We don't want you kind
everybody's
of people
welcome.
anyway.
It's going to be a great time.
I'm just telling you now, we don't want none of you Washington State people. Or you California people. Y'all just stay your asses out on the West Coast. Tom didn't say that. He's a nice guy. I'm saying that.
Don't bring your politics.
Here we go.
Right.
Here we go.
You West Coast stay out West. I'm just kidding. Tom is a great guy. He would. Yeah, he's a really nice guy. He's a lot of fun too. Well, I'm not gonna get into all of that, but he's a nice guy. We had a good time a couple times. Well, I will say one bad thing about California. Finding booze in that state is like pulling freaking teeth, man.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, man. If it's after midnight, you can hang it up. I'm from New Orleans, people. I'm used to walking to a convenience store and buying booze. I don't have to go look for this shit.
California is that tight on booze? I didn't know
after midnight, you can't buy anything on the weekdays and 2 a.m. on the weekends. Just unless you know somebody in a private club, you can forget it. That's its limits.
I know there's so many drunks on the sidewalks.
There's a lot of those. Actually, the worst thing about Cali, so every time we'd walk, we went to Roosevelt the last 2 years. So every time you'd walk out to Roosevelt and stand in the front, you would get high because there was always 2 or 3 people out there just blunting it up, which I ain't got nothing against that. I just, I'm trying to keep my brain together. I don't even get high. But every time, or if you're walking down the street, everywhere there's an alleyway, the smell of marijuana just, which I'm not against that either, but I'm just saying, when I'm working, I'm working. When I'm playing, I'm playing. It's a different thing. TimewoodFloat.com. Y'all go check it out. Yes. Yeah. Look, it looks like a blast to me. I wish I'd have known. I went this year if I'd have known.
You can still come. It's Labor Day weekend, Joe. You can.
Oh, it is. Okay. So that's even better.
I'll
be home by then.
September 1st through the 3rd.
Yeah.
So we'll have to start advertising that for him and plugging it out. We'll get the shows. Well, right now we plug it on. You go win the Galaxy Preston.
I'll go live there.
You do know that Emily.
You're going to do a live podcast from the float? That'd be awesome.
So my show's on Monday. Labor Day's on Monday, right? That's perfect. I could do a live
as long as we can get a connection somewhere. We set up to broadcast anywhere in the world now. And I could bring one of the sat phones with me. They're just so outrageously expensive. It's what's that? No, I do. I own 3 sat phones. Yes, I do. The 2 of them I don't even use anymore because they're pieces of you know what. The other one is great, but I think it's like $7 a minute or something. Yeah, it's not cheap, people. Well, you can get them cheaper than that
in the chat rooms.
So y'all be sure to go check out both. TimewoodFloat.com. Go and check out Tom Wood's Fantasy Art. Go check it all out. I mean, a lot of those posters you can get for your kid, you can get for yourself. They're really nice. There's a lot of stuff in there. They're not going to put you in a poorhouse. You can buy a couple. Matter of fact, what we'll do this year for Christmas, because he got so much artwork that we'll be talking about. Because we give away a lot of books, and we give away a lot of other stuff. And maybe we'll buy some and give y'all some of them this year.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
We like giving away stuff to people. Well, no, that's what make y'all. We're not buying listeners because we're not giving away that kind of stuff. But I'm not giving away no automobiles or shit like that. No, that's not going to happen. No SUVs or anything like that. Yeah, if I become a multi-millionaire,
come on,
then we'll
Oprah.
discuss that. Yeah, and I gotta go, and I ain't got enough time to explain that. But we had to change locations when the Hard Rock crashed. So the 1077 won't be back up until me and the FCC can come to a term on where the new tower is going. We already got the tower, we already got the equipment. But we had found a good place. It was 100 feet above sea level, and the tower is about 80 feet. It was great. We could have broadcasted probably from Houston, Texas, all the way to Pensacola. But every time we find a location, either NASA butts in. See, NASA's right here by me, and then there's a CB base by me, and then there's an Air Force base by me, and there's some other military stuff. So I gotta find that zone in between where I'm not crisscrossing them. So I know it can be done because there's radio stations here. So it's just got, and we're gonna also find a place that's not gonna make me have to sell my house to buy it and things like that. Nah, we have a 80-foot antenna right next to the house for 105.3 Pensacola. I mean the Pass Christian. That's in Mississippi. Yeah, it's actually wound up a pine tree. I got a 75-foot pine tree in my yard. It's wound up. Yeah, works great. But you're only going to get it in this area. Yeah. So anyway, we got to go. Y'all be sure to go check out Tom. He's a great guy. If y'all get up to the flow, do it. Be sure to go over and check out all of his artwork. He's got great artwork. No, that canvas stuff wasn't his. That's why I posted up and asked him. No. No, it's not. I'm not saying you can't get canvas. I'm just saying that one site we posted wasn't his. Yeah, that's all I was saying. No more of that. And anything else? We got to go. I want to thank everyone for tuning in. Tom, you're always great as usual.
Joe, thanks for having me.
All you girls in the messenger chat, yes, y'all go get a life.
Thank you, Tom.
Yes, we had a great
Thanks,
time.
Tom. It was
Trish, nice
great
having you.
seeing
Dave's nice having you. Emily, glad to see you popped in the chat. Everybody else, I hope y'all have a good weekend. Enjoy yourself. If you're in the deep south, yes, we're going to get a lot of rain over the next day or two. So stay safe. Yeah, I think they said 2 inches here where we are locally. New Orleans about another 2 inches. So yeah, it's going to rain a lot, but we live in the deep south. It's part of life down here. Starting actually middle of May, it's going to rain every day until August. Every afternoon until August.
It was storming here tonight. It's tornado season though here.
Yes, it is. That's
but and don't forget, guys and girls, to go check out galaxypress.com and writersofthefuture.com. Be sure to check them out. And again, anyone is eligible to win. It's galaxypress.com /readers of the future / actually it looks like there's some others in there, but check it out. It's on the site. Go check it out, people. You can win. It's an easy time to win right now. You better go before I'm gonna be broadcasting all weekend. Yes, I'm gonna be pushing this all weekend.
Surprise Joe.
I host. I already talked to John and them. My host can actually win. So if you're a host of the network, you can
Are you
actually
serious?
go. Yes, I am serious. I already talked to them about it. So
yep.
y'all can submit
I'm gonna
and
enter
win.
the Flow Queen competition.
Yeah, there you go.
There we go. The only restrictions is that you're in the U.S. Yes, this isn't something for overseas. This is only U.S. for this particular thing. But if you're in the U.S., what do you mean if you're in California? Well, if you're in California, you don't have to fly unless you're way up North California. Yeah, if you're there, you can just drive in and be there. I mean, if you win, you can't just come if you don't win. Oh no. Oh, we got security, but I'm there, and I'll know because I'll know everybody for a week. I know everybody who's going to be there. So don't even. I'll be like, you got to leave. That's why John and Emily keep me around because I'm big and ugly. Yes, I said, get out of here. You should see me in a tux, man. Yes, I'm scary looking at a tux.
He looks good in a tux.
You cheered me up this evening, Joe.
Yes, but anyway, thanks for hearing that. Guys and girls, thanks again for tuning in to United Public Radio and News on the Flip Side. And we had Tom with us, our guest tonight. He's a great guy. Be sure to check him out, see what y'all are missing out on. And again, I'll answer that question one more time. He probably does commissioned work, but you're gonna have to. Well, I'm just gonna say you gotta have some cash. Is all I'm saying. Anyway, I'm not going any further. I can't speak for the man. On that note, we're gonna get out of here. Thanks again for tuning in to United Public Radio and News on the Flip Side. Good night, everyone, and good morning.